Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast, is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support the show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Salutations, everybody. It is Maddie here today. Welcome to episode 248 of Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast. Today, we're joined by the man who will not upcharge you on everything, who's taking care of business out in Japan, the global ninja himself, Lord Cognito, back for some breaking news. How are you, good sir?
Doing well. Good to be back in the realm of the Dukes, land of the rising sun. It is 5 a.m. in the morning as of recording.
I forgot how early it is for you. You had so much energy when we were talking. I forgot how early it is for you.
Yeah, it's 5 a.m. Yeah, I'm hanging in, man. But I couldn't miss two rounds of the Dukes.
Could not do back to back. But who could be here for two Dukes is the man who has cursed Xbox himself with his own two hands. Every episode he's on, shit's popping off. It's the one, the only Sir Bradley Ellis. Brad, how are you today, sir?
I'm great. I saw the news today and I said, oh boy, this is going to be a fun episode today.
We have this running joke that y'all have probably heard, but if you're new here, anytime Brad has joined me for an episode, like Cog's not here, or hey, Brad, like honestly, even we're just like, tag Brad in, we want the third chair. Something's happening, and it's never great news. It's a console price hikes, it's Game Pass, it's studio closure. It's like, it's
bad for the Xbox brand, but good for the LSM content.
Good, definitely. Yeah. Swiss Army knife. That's my man.
Yes, absolutely. Gentlemen, this is going to be a fun one, no doubt. Really, I'm just curious what words we can find this week after running back what feels like the same fever dream multiple times in the last about year and change. But we'll get to that. I mean, obviously, people who are watching, we're going to talk about the Game Pass price increase. We're going to talk about the ROG Ally pre-orders, which were probably going to originally be the headline of the show. We got a couple other smaller bits here, but I call this one when I did the script, I call this a highlights only Duke. Like this is, sometimes we get the low lights in, like what's this indie gem doing? What are the sales over here? I know our audience. Y'all don't give a shit this week. So we're just going to get really as quickly into it as we can. We want to warm ourselves up first. Want to talk with the audience. If you want to write in, patreon.com/laststandmedia. Otherwise, we'll see you on free feeds. Apple, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you want to be. The Dukes and other LSM shows like Brad Summon Sign are here for you. Health is wealth first. Keep your hand in that Dorito bag, y'all. Hang on. We got one for all of you. Okay. Whoa. Health is wealth isn't just for those who are trying to stay in shape, but sometimes a healthy wallet leads to a healthy life. Leah's Cool Jenkins wants to help out the community. He says, hey, Dukes, a quick heads up to all the cheap Dukes like myself. As of the 1st of October, the Game Pass Core / Essential to Ultimate conversion trick still works. I just bought 12 months of Core, then 1 month of Ultimate on CD keys, then automatically converted to 6 months of Ultimate. It works out to about $60. Could be the last time this works. So if you want to get a few months cheap, get cracking. Have a I ain't ever paying them prices, Phil, kind of day. So just want to help out any of the Dukes, reward you who don't care about the health is wealth segment. Get on in, get your deals.
Get your deals, man.
Because Brad,
I'm curious about my deal.
Yeah, I was going to say, Brad, let's talk about your deal.
Are they going to let me refund again and get all my money back for like the 6th time now, I think, or something like that? They're cracking down, but are they cracking down in that department?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to write as long as they let me, but once it happens, it's over.
Yeah.
No complaining.
I don't blame you. Some people were giving you grief last week. I'm like, look, it's on Xbox, and maybe they heard us last week and they said, okay, time to course correct.
They snitching. You're talking too much about it.
I curse the brand, but I also help the brand to an extent. Just a lot less. A lot less.
There you go. So thank you for writing in, Lee, letting everyone know what's good with that. Cog, we got to talk Mets baseball just real quickly. I got to see how we're doing. Darth Gator has the write in. Honestly, It could not be more thematic for you and I. It really couldn't be. Darth Gator has the right in. Says, hello, Dukes. Sorry for the Mets not making the postseason, but I humbly ask you both to bless the Mariners postseason. Unfortunately, life as a Mariners fan hasn't been that fun, at least for the last 20 years. So this is a rare one for everyone in the PNW. Thanks, and go M's. And yeah, I have a bracket I made. I do have the Mariners going deep. I have them losing in the World Series, but I believe in them this year. I like them a lot. Now, Cog, there is something very special about the New York Mets' slow death over the course of the 2025 season, and what many are considering the slow death of Xbox.
Correlation.
It's a very strong correlation. So I just want to feel you out. How are we feeling in the world of baseball, in the world of gaming? Of course, these two are kind of coming together here. I don't know. I couldn't help but think about it when I saw the news break today. I'm like, wow, these are scary similar, and they're both things I like a lot. It's so sad. And they're both spending a lot of money too. You know?
Yes. You got Uncle Phil and Uncle Stevie from. Look, man, I think me and you, we both never felt completely sold with this team, right? And during the course of the year, we're like, yeah, they're doing good, but don't like the pitching. We're seeing signs that don't feel good. And then, last season was it the OMG Mets? It was kind of a good feel good energy. Now, to their credit, they were kind of dominant in the beginning of the year. But the pitching, I never was confident. I was never confident. I was just like, they're overachieving. And then it just got worse and worse and worse. Now, I got to go in on someone. I don't want to go in on them, but David Stearns, you might have to come to the front of the congregation. Yeah. And I never usually go up. Yeah, I never go up against the whiz kid because that's like, the Harvard and, he always looks outside the box, makes these cool deals, and then these things pan out. But to leave our staff the way it was, to depend on these kids last minute, the bullpen was horrible. And Sean Manaea signing, So, yeah, this sucked. Like, because what sucked is, remember we had that write-in a couple of Dukes and the guy was a Reds fan?
Yeah. Actually, I think he did. I should have put it. I think he did write in saying, "I'm sorry, I cursed the Mets," but like the Reds did get in. I was like, yeah. We did call it. Where I said, I don't think you should sell the Reds short. I think they're, by the time this goes live, I think they're out of the playoffs probably. But they got in, bro. They got in. I was like, I don't think the Mets are going to make it.
And in typical Met fashion, a collapse, heartbreak right at the very end, and you go, yep.
One
That's
game.
what feels familiar. Yep, feels familiar. So they got to retool. But Stearns, you got to come to the congregation. You got to fix that pitching. And surprisingly, the hitting, was the one that actually. I knew they were in trouble when we score 7 to 8 runs and be losing games.
Yeah. I was like, wow, this feels wrong. It'll be a fun off season. I think they're going to tear it up. Yeah, I think they're going to tear it up. Yeah, I mean, when I say tear it up, I mean I think they're going to rip this team apart. Like I don't think we're going to be in for a good season next year, but like I think they're going to have a lot of new faces. Like I think most of the guys there. Like I think they're just going to keep Soto, keep Lindor, keep Beatty, everyone else out.
No Pete. I don't get no Polar.
I want Pete back. I just don't think Stearns is going to pay him. I don't think Stearns is going to pay him.
But I think Stevie going to jump in on that one because that's home.
I hope so. I think he should be a career Met, but I don't trust Stearns on that. I don't think Stearns gives a shit. If he went for Frankie Montas over Severino, that's all I needed to see. I'm like, this guy doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't. I agree. I think in that case, because Stevie's such a owner that's such a Met fan, homer kind of a guy. Did you see Steve's tweet?
Yeah, he apologized. I was like, I want Phil outside doing that.
Bro, I felt it. I was like, yo, Steve, he's like, as a Met fan, this was unacceptable. There's going to be change. So there's a part of me, provided Boris doesn't get too ridiculous, that he's going to get his money.
Oh, but we'll see. He had a great season. Yeah, Boris is going to have a field day with Steve. He's like, you want him? Okay.
Get over that barrel. Bend over that barrel. Watch. Oh, they go back the truck up. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's how the Mets are doing. We appreciate all the baseball Dukes out there. I still got the playoff games on, just watching them throughout.
Real quick, sorry. Shout out to the whole Greek Thunder LSM fam. He always rocks out with us and Sean Mason and Astro Parrot, the baseball game. He's a huge Mariners guy, and I know he's got to be going crazy for that area. Why? So salute.
I always worry when my team's resting for a while. So that's the thing that always freaks me out with the playoffs, right? The wild card teams I like because it's like they keep playing, they don't lose their rhythm, but those who are waiting, you start to get cold, start to get stiff, lose that flow. Yeah, man. We'll see. But shout out to baseball. Good time.
Yes, sir.
All right. This question's for me, but I want to apply it to everyone else because I think we all probably want to step to the front of the congregation and answer this one. Brandon writes in, and he actually, by the way, I encourage the Dukes listening. If you have questions for us, it's like Brandon, for example, was saying, like, I might write this in on the Patreon. Like, I know it's easy for me to say because sometimes all of your questions don't get picked. But I always encourage you guys to write in if you do have questions for us, because he asked me on the Discord and someone was like, you should write in. This is a great question. He's like, yeah, I might do that. So I just want to give you all, just urge you a little bit. Just dive into our threads. We'd like to hear from you. It sparks us in our shows. And it's not just about, talking. It's also just like it gives us ideas for things and like, oh, the audience cares about this. Okay, we want to talk about this more then. So always write in if you have the time to. We appreciate it. Brandon, though, writes, hey, Dukes, I have a question for Maddie. Would you still consider yourself an Xbox fan if Xbox didn't own Bethesda? Lately, you've seemed more critical of Xbox, and it sometimes sounds like you don't like the brand much anymore. If Xbox didn't own Bethesda along with Obsidian and Exile, do you think you'd still have the same connection to Xbox? Also, do you feel that relying on Xbox's ownership of a couple of studios shapes or compromises your perspective as an Xbox commentator? I don't mean this as an attack. I'm genuinely curious about how you see your role, especially given your recent criticisms of the brand. Thanks for taking the time, and I hope you both have a great day. Okay, so I appreciate the write in here. Obviously, fun topic because that's the golden question. Are we still Xbox fans? Or in this case, am I still one? I would say arguably I was an Xbox fan before a Bethesda fan. Of course, I'm like a Bethesda fanboy, as many people know. But like, really, my first real gaming console was Xbox, and I have a lot of love for the brand. That's why I sound bitter, because I'm very upset with what they've become. So yeah, like I would have been a fan of them either way. Is it fair to say that my love for them grew when they went after the things I value a lot? 1,000%. Completely true. I'll never deny that, especially because a lot of those things I love, I maybe was a bit naive about how I thought they'd be fortified. Like, oh, Bethesda went and did 76. Now they're with Xbox. They got that Microsoft money. We know Bethesda gets huge player counts, lots of sales. They're going to give Bethesda funding that they need. They're going to kind of go back to those Oblivion days where they're making exclusives that eventually get ported, and they're going to make like the best, biggest open world games on the market. Like the matchup makes sense. The partnership makes sense. I was like, yeah, this works for me. And you go into Starfield and it's like, yeah, it was to me their biggest miss as a single player game. So there was a bit of naivety there. I thought Obsidian would kind of push into AAA. They stayed in AA, and they've thrived that way. But certain things hit, certain things miss for me there. In Exile, I think I'm really, really excited to see how they pan out. Obviously, you can't definitively say, but like I think Fargo gets it, and Clockwork looks amazing. So do I think I'd still have the same connection to Xbox without these companies? For sure, because I was a big fan of like Game Pass and when it was called xCloud. I was like one of the people who was saying right away, I was like, this is awesome. Like I was really behind what Xbox was doing because they were competing, as we'll get into. Real big theme of at least the episode for me is they were making competitive decisions that made their brand very compelling to me. So even if they did not own these companies, they've always been interesting to me. I bought the Xbox One at launch, y'all. Like I was suffering there.
That's commitment.
I was gonna say that's commitment. Because I cared about the games. And that's why I transitioned to PS4 later in that generation. But to answer that part of the question, Bethesda is not the driving reason I care about Xbox. Is it a driving reason I was angry with Xbox recently? 1,000%. They gutted a company I really care about that I think makes really good games. And that's going to piss me off. I wouldn't be much of a commentator if I wasn't true to my word about just how I feel about certain companies' games versus others. I value Bethesda's games a lot more than most people. So when Xbox proceeded to like completely gut them and a lot of their core leadership, or lead to many of the bigger leaders leaving, bugged the hell out of me. And that does go beyond Bethesda, but of course people know I enjoy Bethesda games. I got to reread this one. Do you feel that relying on Xbox's ownership of a couple of studios shapes or compromises your perspective as an Xbox commentator? I think what you're asking here, and you guys correct me if I'm misinterpreting this, is by them owning, say, Bethesda, if something bad happens to Bethesda, but the broader picture is fine, does that mean I'm more biased in, say, like my negative or my critical commentary on Xbox? That's how I'm understanding it. And if so, I would say not, because like I was kind of like freaking out about even beyond Bethesda stuff. And like I was on top of them when the Game Pass day one games were ass. So I would just say that like I've kind of taken them as they've come to me, but in the case of Xbox recently, I consider myself a very optimistic person. I don't know how you feel optimism for the brand right now. So it sucks to hear that the criticism can come across as negativity because it's just like not this sort of blanket thing. It's like a sequence of events. And I think you're kind of fooling yourself if you're sitting there going like, well, they're going to turn it around or whatever. Like this brand has dramatically changed in the last year and change. And it's like a tough watch because it's like, to me, I think this is the final nail in the coffin in the terms of like competition and making themselves a very competitive brand. But we can, again, dive into that later in the show. But I wanted to talk to you guys about this as well in the terms of like how you view yourselves as Xbox fans in the space. How you're feeling about your Xbox fanship. I don't like to use the term fanship because it's like, you're cheering for corporations at the end of the day. But hopefully people understand what that means. Like, when you became a fan and you like them for what they were doing on the market versus where you're at today. So, Cog, you've been here with me since day one. See how you feeling. How are we feeling?
That's a great question. I love this question. I mean, it's tough, man. It's tough when you comment. I love the question directed to you because I was actually curious how you've been feeling. But when it comes to me, it's tough, man. You love something, you wear it on your sleeve, it's your passion, it becomes part of your identity and stuff like that. And that's just normal. It's a matter of being able to separate your emotion from what's actually going on. And, me being the older gamer here on the panel, this reminds me, what you guys are going through reminds me of my first love.
Oh, he's got the bag.
And that's for the
literal bag.
Yeah, this was my first love. And I remember reacting the same way when they were doing things I couldn't stand. Like I remember the first sign for me was honestly the Saturn at first. And I wasn't a fan of the Saturn. I didn't like it. And I was just like, I think 3D is the new way to go. And I remember when PlayStation came out and I was like, I told Saul, I was like, I'm not getting that Saturn. Everything they're saying in that reveal does not speak to me. It costed more. PlayStation looked better. I had Battle Arena to Shinden. I had Jump and Flash. I had, Final Fantasy. I was like, Sega, I'll see you later when you get it together, right? And I left. And I remember Dreamcast came out and I'm like, okay, back to sensibilities. One of the most dominant, amazing systems, greatest launch lineup of all time, $99.99. You know the history. And I'm like, yes. And then promptly I saw the fade. And it just completely evaporate and die on me. And I was devastated. I was a kid that loved Sonic, Shinobi, all my classic franchises. I'm like, what's going to happen to the games I love? They're not going to get made anymore. Are they going to go to Nintendo? So in a blink of an eye, everything that I love was gone. So when it comes now to Xbox, it's like, this is not my first rodeo. The difference is devastating as some of the moves seem, as bad as, the critical thinking doesn't seem to be involved as far as being a competitive brand. I just look at it as they are metamorphosizing. And there's a part of me that wish Sega at least had an opportunity to exist in some form. Because the vibe I see with Xbox is like, okay, you're transitioning to be Sega on some level, right? You're going to be the biggest publisher. It's just that you're happening to still make a console. You're still doing it, but for those who still want that, we gotta price gouge the hell out you. We're gonna squeeze. You want this? Oh, guess what? Guess how much you're gonna pay? You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be the new thing right now. So it's tough. All I say is just like be happy for that your stuff still is there. It exists for the most part. Ride the wave as much as you can. I shouldn't say ride as much as you can. That's incorrect. If you are not happy, you need to go. That's just a fact. Like I'm not going to sit here.
To leave.
Yeah, like if things, especially with this economic climate and everything that's going on, if you can't afford this stuff, yeah, by all means. Especially, and we'll get into the theme of the show is what I don't like is none of this benefits new players who want to be part of the Xbox ecosystem. That's my main issue. For me, yeah, I love the brand. And for the most part, I was in early before, price increases and stuff like that. But for anybody new, and that scares me long term, kind of thing. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
The fanship remains strong. Still hanging around.
Until the lights turn off and they tell me they stop making it. And, I told you I'm a refugee.
No. I don't think I don't mean it in a judgmental way when I ask him.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's just, again, we'll get into I want to save some of my bars for the Game Pass part. But as far as what the games that I like are provided, the ecosystem that I like, yes, I still prefer this ecosystem. I still love to play the games here and stuff like that. A lot of that stuff appeals to me and stuff like, Game Pass anywhere, play anywhere and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how long it lasts is where I'm at.
Mm-hmm. All right. Brad. The man with the tainted touch. How are we feeling?
I'm sorry, I'm killing the brand.
He took his finger off the refund button for this one, y'all.
Yeah. I am old like Cog as well, and I remember the final days of Sega as well. Cog, I had a Genesis as well. I was fortunate enough to have a Genesis and a Super Nintendo, but I had a Genesis first actually, and I really loved that console. The Dreamcast came out, Cog. I never had a Dreamcast, but a lot of my friends had them. So I'll tell you why, Cog, I didn't have one. It's because when it came out, I knew the PS2 was coming out. And, I was like a Squaresoft guy big time back in the day.
Easy choice.
And I knew that's where it was going to be in the future. But I played a lot of Dreamcast, actually, like a lot. And I got to borrow it. My friends, like everyone burned every game pretty much and had every single game.
So
like,
it started young. This whole getting by free started young.
I didn't do it.
Hustle. I get it.
I didn't do it. They let me borrow it, and they're like, "Here's a case of every single Dreamcast game on it." Like, okay, when you're like,
when you're that
11,
age,
when I'm like 11 or 12, I'm like, "Oh hell yeah, let's go, dude!" So I played all that shit, and I actually really like the Sega sports games they used to do back in the day.
Hell yeah.
Like the NFL one. What was it called again? Was it 2K?
NFL 2K, yeah.
NFL 2K,
shout
yeah, man.
Visual Concepts, the original developers.
Yeah, those games were sick, dude. And I love the Dreamcast, dude. So many good games on there. Like Power Stone, I love. Sonic Adventure, dude, blew me away when I saw it the first time. Yeah. So I got to play a lot of Dreamcast, and I do agree with you, Kai. I think it's a very special console that unfortunately ended too early. I regret not buying them when it was like $50 or whatever, and they just had piles of them and all that kind of stuff. So I get it, dude. It sucks, man, when a brand you love goes away. But for me, I've been lucky. My main investments through my life have been Nintendo and PlayStation. So I've been chill pretty much the whole time. Mostly, I have big problems with both those companies in a lot of ways. Like if you listen to Punching Up, I talk shit constantly on Nintendo, because they frustrate me. But you hate to see it, man. I feel bad for people out there who are so invested in it. I respect Cog because Cog knows what's up. And he's like, this is where I like to play. And it is what it is. Like we could see the tea leaves kind of right now. So, but like, I want everyone to play where they want to play and have a good time. I feel bad, I don't want people to suffer and like lose like their ecosystem and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's going away or anything like that right now, but things are changing and this is going to happen to everybody probably eventually. So it is what it is. But yeah, I want to see Xbox do well because they own brands I love. Like Maddie, you guys know I love Blizzard and stuff like that. They're a huge brand for me. And even before they were owned by Xbox, I was very frustrated with them. Like when they got bought by Activision, that was kind of the beginning of the end, I would say, of like the mod or the Blizzard that people love, the classic Blizzard. And I was kind of hoping, when they bought Xbox, I was like, okay, maybe the shackles will be off. Maybe we'll start getting more IPs. And I guess it hasn't been that long. Games take a long time to make if they're getting greenlit earlier on. But I was like, okay, maybe we'll get StarCraft. We'll start getting more of that kind of stuff. Weird, more experimental stuff. I haven't really seen anything like that right now. They canceled that survival game. It probably wasn't good, so it probably deserved to get canceled, I assume, because if it wasn't working out, I would have liked to see it, but it's sad to see, but I don't want to see these brands suffer. I love. I already lost Tango from them, which was like one of my favorite teams they owned. Yeah. And I know Tango is kind of living on in a different way, but I was very sad to see them go because I love Evil Within games. I loved Hi-Fi Rush, Ghostwire Tokyo, awesome games. So it hurts, and they got my rare N64 kid here right now. And there was like Rare's golden era. To see them get bought out by Xbox and just like not have that relevancy like they did back then. of course they've been going for a long time. There's games people like on there, but it just never hit the spots for me like they used to back in the day. So I don't want to see that kind of stuff, but
yeah,
it's a scary thing, man. It's a sad thing, I guess, to see these things.
Yeah.
And I ain't saying, hey, don't give up on the devs. They're doing their best out there. They're making the best games they can.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Xbox has helped a lot of them out there, but it just sure seems like Xbox is making moves that aren't for me. The 360 gen is where they were like really gunning for me. That was like my first Xbox I bought, dude. They were like, yo, we're getting exclusive Japanese role-playing games, Tales of Vesperia. I was like, all right, Xbox, you got me. You're making those plays, so I'm in. But since then, it's kind of faded. What games personally interest me a lot. Yeah.
I feel you. Yeah, it's one of those things where like I still want them to succeed, no doubt about it. I guess like still a fan in the sense of like I'm gonna always be paying attention to them. I want them to succeed. I want to see their games come out and do well. Like I want them to be competitive, but this is beyond the whole business strategy has changed thing. Like this is so far flung away from it. It's extremely expensive to get into their ecosystem, and I think they're bleeding the people who are within it dry, which I'll talk about a lot. And I don't have a lot of respect for that because it reminds me a lot of like things that were dead for a while until they suddenly turned around. Like Fallout 76 did the same thing. Mm-hmm. So we'll talk more about this. But first, let's talk a bit about Forza Horizon 6. Cog, you weren't here to chat about this, but you were on the floor when this got revealed. Got a couple of questions about this one here. Like, what's going on with Forza Horizon 6? One of the big surprises was when it was revealed, it was also said that Forza Horizon 6 would be a temporary exclusive, like coming first, they said exclusively to Xbox and PC. After what happened with Forza Horizon 5, we were like, this has to be a multi-plat day and date, right? But we have two write-ins here. One's from Lunamura. It says, Dear Mr. Throat Goat and Mr. Depends. I'm going to stop you right there, Lunamura. Coat with a C. I am not a throat goat. Don't put me on that level. Don't put me there.
You're not with that skill set?
Yeah. My skill set is in T. In T.
Clear that up.
Yeah, we got to make sure the record's clear. Because I don't need new listeners coming and be like, oh, he throws himself the throat goat. Okay. I got some thoughts. All right, Maddie, I'd love nothing more than to hear you and Cog speculate on what's going on here. None of us saw Forza Horizon 6 being a timed exclusive coming. Does this mean timed exclusivity is potentially back as a strategy for Xbox? Do you think this is a reaction to how well Forza Horizon 5 performed on PS5? Or do you think this will only happen because the PS5 port simply won't be ready? But if that's the case, then why not just wait to launch the game until all the ports are ready? Could you imagine if Fallout 5 and Elder Scrolls 6 were Xbox timed exclusives? Even if these games were only a 3-month timed exclusive, it would still inevitably grow the Xbox ecosystem. I wonder if Xbox will adopt the timed exclusivity strategy that has worked well for PlayStation all these years. I'd love to hear your thoughts and have are Xbox timed exclusives back kind of day. Now, keep in mind, for Lunamura, this was written in before all of the Game Pass changes. Mm-hmm. Greek Thunder wrote in as well, the man you were talking about earlier, Cog. Says, good day, Dukes. First of all, as a Mariners fan, I feel your pain. Sorry about your Mets. Thank you for not dancing our graves too much here. My question is, how long do you think until Forza will go over to PlayStation? Do you think the buzz of day and date would be better for the series if they did that? First time around, I double dipped on PC, then PlayStation, but now that I know it's coming, I won't be doing that unless they get cross progression working. And I wonder how many others will do the same. Go Seahawks. Thank you, Greek Thunder, for writing in. Thank you, Lunamur, for writing in. So, Cog, want to hear from you first on all of this Forza Horizon 6. Brad and I talked about it pretty extensively last week. How you're feeling about the reveal, first and foremost, that it is real, but also, were you surprised by the timed exclusivity, and when does this come to PlayStation?
Yeah, no, first, shout out, to being here out in Tokyo Game Show in Chiba, Japan, and seeing the reveal was special because it was long overdue for this locale for the series. And it was just so dope to get that announcement. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. Now, granted, I would have liked a little gameplay, but all we got was like, what you call it, a little trailer of just the area, so to speak. But as far as the announcement, right, we hear the news, you're like, okay, the natural assumption, like you said, Forza Horizon 5, the port went over. It's one of the most highest performing games as far as sales on PlayStation for the year. You're like, okay, it's a slam dunk. They're giving PlayStation Forza Horizon 5 so that when 6 is ready, we'll have a simultaneous release. They'll maximize profits, and that's the play. So you hear this, and you're like, wait a minute, it's not available at launch. And I was just thought about it. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to buy into the strategy that, exclusives or timed exclusives are back on the table yet. And I just think this is just circumstantial. There's a part of me that thinks that because, remember, when you saw the announcement, this is a joint effort between Playground and Turn 10, especially after what happened to Turn 10 with, them being kind of, say, shuttered, but, reorganized, right? And now and we had to figure out what's their role going to be, especially in a world where we would assume Forza Motorsport has been deprioritized, right? So the way I look at it is a lot of moving parts. It may take longer to do the port than they anticipated. Now, it is surprising that to the first writer that they just didn't wait, right? But there's a part of me that thinks because next year is such a big, I think it's Xbox's 30th anniversary. And remember last showcase, Phil came out and said, Halo's coming. So we know the remake rumors and stuff, what's going on. We got Gears E-Day, right? So literally it's burger, shake, and fries with Forza, the core franchise, including Fable. So the way I look at it is maybe from a release date cadence, they want to target a certain time frame, whether it be top of the year or whatever it is, where things are spaced out. They put it out and then give it a couple of months. Now, what will be interesting is if it does well in the Xbox ecosystem as a timed exclusive, do they revisit the strategy? Because remember, we did see Gears Reloaded didn't necessarily do well when it was ported back, right? No. So it's interesting. I'm still, my gut says they're still going day and date for the most part with the majority of their titles. This just may be a more heavier lift, or work out the kinks, and then bring it over to PlayStation. But what do you guys think? I missed out your thoughts. I'm very curious about what did you guys think on this one?
I said this is the Indiana Jones treatment, like next spring, for those who are wondering about a time window I'm predicting, like the following spring of 2026, so 2027. But otherwise, I think it'll still be eventually day and date. I just think a lot of people still imagine ports as like, take the program and drag it over here into this new hard drive. And it's like, it doesn't work that way. So I think it takes a lot more time than we all give it credit for. And given that's the case, I think Xbox is gradually spinning their teams up. Like, I don't think Elder Scrolls 6 will be timed exclusive. If it is, I'll eat my shoe. I would be so fucking surprised by that. Would it benefit them? Sure. Like that's their biggest game of whatever generation it comes out. And Brad and I debated that as well. Whenever it comes out, though, it'll be a boon for them. But also, like, when you make your platform this expensive to get into, will people pay to play those games? I think for Elder Scrolls 6, you can make a case. Forza, maybe you can make a case. So there's something to be said there. But I think one of the big points I'm going to circle back to a lot with this is content saturation, which is just there's so many options that I think consumers are starting to care less because there's just like, oh, I can't play that. I can find 15 other things to play coming out this month right now. I don't even have to look at my backlog. So I don't know if the whole walled garden, even a shorter walled garden strategy, is good for Xbox. I think you got to be clear about this, like day and date, just get there, So I found it a little surprising when Forza Horizon 6 was a timed exclusive because I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like 5 was fucking huge on Xbox and PC. And it was one of the best-selling games on PlayStation, if not the best-selling game on PlayStation this year for a while. What are we doing splitting the launch? I don't know.
No, I get it. The other thing you just got me thinking, too, is because it's a multiplayer game, because, cross-play, potentially cross-progression, and then we also forgetting the SKU of the PS5 Pro, that have to optimize for that and stuff like that on a higher end. Again, just maybe a little bit more development lift than we give it credit for. But I agree. Like, I'm like, damn, like, don't you want to your point, Maddie, I say, like, don't you want to maximize? Yeah, like, you don't want to miss the zeitgeist moment that everybody could be down and all those concurrent, because they love talking about users and players, 50,000 millions turned the corner in Shibuya. So they're going to give you the stat. Right? You know how the stat will go. 16 million tires screeched on this corner. And, so, I am shocked in that play. So it's got the only thing I could think of is just lift, and they probably want to hit a target for shareholders for it to come out that they can't, miss, and they for whatever, they just don't want to delay it any further. So I was very surprised to see this.
Brad, any updated thoughts on this subject?
I don't even know what to think. Like, I don't think that you can predict it. It just kind of feels like it's just different for every single game, whatever the circumstances. There is no like clear model, I suppose. I don't know. Maybe the clearest thing is like maybe most games will come to other platforms, I suppose, but time or when they do come to other platforms just kind of feels different for every single project.
Coin toss, baby.
Yeah, it's like whatever the developers are at, maybe in the process. I don't really know.
Yeah.
As you know, things change fast in this ecosystem, the news, the strategies. So
They might walk back today's news by the time this episode goes live for everyone.
We're going to talk about the response. Certain websites to try to get rid of Game Pass. Have y'all seen that?
What?
Oh, yeah, bro. The site, I'll send you the link. The site for people to try to cancel their Game Pass subscriptions has crashed.
I did see that.
Yeah. So again, like you said, Maddie, if the news, keeps on and it has that type of reaction, will there be a rollback? We've seen things like this. Disney Plus, I think, there's been stuff going on, man. I think what's the guy, Kimmel, that got canned or whatever, and then there was like a 66% drop, and then they were like, all right, we're gonna make some changes. Like, bro, I wouldn't be surprised if the curse of the Duke strikes again on that, based on how negative I am seeing this reaction. I was like, wow, this is crazy.
When it rains, it pours. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Look, let's we got some Xbox highlights to get into this week. Let's hit them real quick. Xbox Ally pre-orders are finally live. It's coming out in a couple of weeks now, and that means the prices are official. We have a $600 Xbox Ally, and the Xbox Ally X is $1,000. My lovely co-host Laura Cognito, you called it. I bend the knee humbly so. Tariffs accounted for and everything. You sniped this price from the day we talked about it. You said I was too optimistic, eyes wide open, hoping Satya would just bless me with a nice price for my handheld. Didn't get there, didn't get close to that at all. I thought they'd eat the price on it, but as time has gone on, I've been terribly wrong about this one. We got a couple of write-ins on this one. One's hilarious, by the way. We'll start off with this one, though. Brian Salazar writes in, hello, Maddie, and whoever is co-hosting. How dare you?
Damn.
How dare you? I'm seeing a bunch of people upset. He said he couldn't remember, but I was like, come on now. What? Maddie and co. Show some respect to the fellow Dukes here. Especially, I'm the idiot here. Disrespect me. I'm seeing a bunch of people upset with the pricing of the Xbox Ally devices. But my question is this. Is it feasible for these devices to be less expensive? Aren't PC handhelds basically just portable gaming laptops that are inherently going to be costly? How much is Microsoft expected to subsidize when they aren't locking you to their storefront in the way a console would? I totally understand seeing some of these prices and going, that's not for me. But the outrage seems to come from a delusional perspective that these devices could be cheaper. Anyways, I'll go back to gooning to the attractive, non-woke female protagonist of Hollow Knight Silksong and listen. That wasn't the funny part, though. Isn't Hollow Knight's protagonist a bug?
Yes.
Interesting. We got a bug gooner here?
Yo, relax, Salazar. Crazy.
Doing the most.
Jeff Kazaris, though, has the right in here. I think this is hilarious, the moral predicament he's in. He said, what's up, Dukes? I'm in a predicament. I want to buy the Xbox Ally X, but for $1,000, come on, Microsoft or Asus or whoever the fuck. I make a decent amount of money in my career, so it wouldn't hurt me to do it, but it would hurt my soul. It's a, oof, did I really just give them that much money situation? This is where the plot twist comes in. Here's the thing. My lovely fiance surprised me with the base ROG Ally for Christmas in 2023, and it holds a special place in my heart. If I had bought it myself, I would have sold it yesterday for the Xbox Ally, but I honestly feel bad selling it because I know she paid $600 for it, which is a lot of money. So what should I do? Do I go full-on renegade by selling my special ROG Ally and paying less for the Xbox Ally? Or do I be a good boy and go the bum-ass Paragon path and save the money on the side until I can buy it? Love you, Dukes. Keep it up. This is a tough one, isn't it?
This is tough, dude.
Moral dilemma.
Tough.
This is a true renegade Paragon decision.
Dude.
I feel you got to keep it. I feel you can't do this to your wife.
Don't upset your partner.
Yeah, you can't do this, bro.
Side with that from a gift she gave you.
Yeah.
This depends on each person, woman, whatever. It's like, if they're cool with you doing that, you got to get a vibe check from it, Maybe she doesn't care. Maybe she's cool with it. Maybe she understands. But you better be real careful.
Yeah.
And real smart about the decision.
That ring's going to go, brother.
Because that's going to cost you more than a couple $100. I'll say that. Be careful.
Yeah, that's what I would say too. Be very safe with that one. Especially like some people are very particular with gifts, right? Like, you know, it's one of those things, man, where like when I've had friends where I see them like, you know, I got them games as gifts and we drive up to GameStop and I see that trading pile. I'm like, oh, Nier Automata, huh? What you doing?
Yo, trading Nier?
I was like, you trading that one in? I'm good for a couple of bucks now.
Damn, for $5.
It's good for at the least, Jeff. You're in for a pretty good guilt trip for the rest of your life. That could be used as a joke, right?
Women don't forget.
Yes,
remember that. They never forget
dude.
anything.
And you will hear about it every time you are holding this. I love how we're going to sell this. Every time you're holding that Xbox Ally, one way or the other, you're hearing your wife's voice in your head. She's going to be
looking at you when you're playing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Side eye.
Yeah. Avoid the funky side eye, bro. Treat your fiance. I keep saying wife. Sorry. Treat your fiance with some love and respect, man. Do not trade it in, especially if you make good money.
Yeah.
You know what you should do. Here's how I would strategize it, Jeff. Render this device obsolete by buying a new one yourself, right? Then your wife would invite the sort of like, or use that money on her. Give it back to her. Not literally, like here's $400, but like, hey, babe, we're going out to dinner tonight. It's on me. Cycle it back in. I don't know. There's some approaches for you, Jeff. All right, Brian has the real one though. In PC handhelds, their cost. There was a rumor from Xbox Era that Tom Henderson then spoke on as well, that Xbox was looking to subsidize costs for the Xbox Ally, but they couldn't for whatever reason. Obviously, tariffs are a looming reason as to why. But the pre-orders are live. In fairness, over on Asus's website, they did sell out. They also sold out on Xbox's website. On Best Buy, they were available pretty regularly the entire time. So selling out is tough to say without a stock number, as in like in the terms of how impressive is this? Like it's good to see people.
Numbers. You know that we're not getting numbers.
No, we aren't. And I was hoping maybe Asus would be like, here's the number. Maybe we'll eventually get it. But
actually, that's a good point. Maybe Asus can kind of
backdoor them. Backdoor them. Give us some Microsoft stats.
Give us some numbers.
Pre-orders live, Cog. I'm looking at you right now. You're out there in Japan.
Yes.
We throw that $1,000 buckaroos down.
Oh, that went down. That went down. I did. You know how crazy? Shout out! It was somebody on Twitter that was like, "Yo, Cog, it's going. It's flying. Like, bro, did you get one? Because it's looking spooky for me. I'm on Best Buy and I'm in a queue or whatever." And I was like, "Oh no!" And I heard like it sold. The statements publicly were like from certain people that hey, it was selling out or whatever. So I'm like, all right. So I went to the Best Buy app on my phone, logged in, and to your credit, man, it wasn't very difficult for me to get this. I was like,
a nice change of pace, by the way. Nice change of pace compared to the Switch 2, where we were fighting for it.
Absolutely. So it was a couple extra steps, a bunch of two-factor authentications, put me in a hold. But then I got to that point, and I knew I was good. It was still okay because Sov wanted to get his, but he was like, yo, I can't log in. I'm having issues. And he waited like maybe 6 hours after I got mine. He was able to get his. So I was just like, okay, we're good. So as far as, the whole, as far as the overall question, as far as the device and how much it look, I'm sad that my prediction was right, that it was a G and they didn't really subsidize. But the way it's been explained to me is this. It's like, kind of like Moore's Law is in effect. And we're from the era of as the generation goes on, things progressively gets cheaper, you get more efficient. We're at that point now where the inefficiency, we're at that threshold. And there's no more shrinking anymore to make things more cost efficient. Then couple that with tariffs. So this is something that is affecting everyone industry-wise. And I wasn't surprised that, that this was going to stay at that price it is. Obviously, I'm the target guy. I'm the guy that's in Japan. I'm the guy that, went from laptop to, being on a plane. We'll talk about what games I played, stuff like that, and continue my experience. So it is. But I don't look at this as some mass market device. This is a niche device. And the way I look at it, this is a test bed device for the ecosystem that they are planning for the future with their next subsequent console, which is a multiple storefront kind of device that, you know, eventually will hopefully have Xbox console accessibility, right? Because that's the main detraction from people who want to dive into. Besides, the price is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But if they have, I think this is like, hey, if we knock this ecosystem out and it's seamless and it works, this could be the good predecessor before we get a console that has storefronts with Xbox games and stuff like that. So that's how I look at it. You know, I don't expect this thing to go crazy sales wise at all. So that's where I'm at.
That was a general prediction.
I'm sorry. What's the price of the cheaper one again?
$600.
Okay,
yeah, about $600.
I only hear people talk about like the $1,000 one. Do you guys know if people are interested in the $600 one, or is it just people pretty much going for the 1K?
Yeah.
version?
So when I was looking at the sellout for the first Xbox and Asus was all the devices.
Okay.
And then I think when I went, or I'm sorry, it was the sellout on Xbox's site. Then Asus still had the one of the two. I don't want to speak definitively. One of the two was still available there. And then Best Buy had both pretty readily available.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure on Asus, it was the Ally X that sold out, though.
Okay.
That was the one, I think, because I remember going like, oh, people are really going for this one. So yeah, that seems to be the one folks are going after, which I guess makes sense when you think about it being a niche device. And
yes,
you know, you might as well go after the big one if that's your target audience. So yeah, I don't, as we discussed multiple Dukes ago, I don't expect this to be a high user number at all. I think it's going to be an interesting talking point for the industry, interesting research project for Xbox. We'll see how it pans out. You know, for me, I'm just really the thing I'm most curious about is this new de-bloated version of Windows, battery life, performance, handheld experience. We know those are all going to be factors in whatever they do next. So seeing the early results of those and whatnot will be interesting, I think. And that'll no doubt have implications down the line. So that's the main part I'm curious about. So time shall tell. But let's move it along here, gents. Oh, sorry.
Just to be clear.
Go ahead.
The special thing about this is the unique like OS system it has, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's coming to other things later on. Is that correct?
Yeah. So, go ahead.
So pretty much like my current ROG Ally will eventually get that de-bloated Xbox ROG Ally X experience. It will eventually get. That's something that they want to put on other devices. So yeah, it will be like a test bed, and then from my understanding, by getting rid of a lot of these Windows 11 stuff, you get a lot of better performance, and then again, just easier navigation UI. They tried to Steam Deck it a little bit in a sense of you know, you got like ROG Ally X verified. You got these games are fully optimized. For example, like on TGS, I was able to play Final Fantasy VII Remake on the new one, and I was like, wow, it ran smooth and stuff like that. So I think this is more, again, a test bed for the operating system that could go everywhere and be seamless for their future kind of ecosystem.
Yeah. It just seems like weird, I guess. Like if I was like a big Xbox fan, I guess, I think I'd be at the point where like, okay, I'm just going to wait till they do like their official version, I guess. Because you guys are saying this is like a half step kind of thing like that, which is cool. And I know a lot of people are into it. But I'm really curious about when they do like the full step kind of thing like that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, when the ROG Ally or the Xbox Ally revealed itself more and more, I lost interest because it's not the official Xbox handheld. That's what I cared about. So then the whole this is an Xbox campaign kind of falling through the floor where it's like, oh, most of my games aren't actually going to be here. It's like, okay, I don't give a shit about this thing then. You know? So I didn't pre-order it. You know, I did not pre-order. I was no FOMO on this one, fortunately. All right, gentlemen, we have a pretty big story here, not really fully Xbox related, but EA is going private in a $55 billion deal. This was first reported by the Wall Street Journal, then confirmed by EA themselves. They're going to be acquired by PIF, which is the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund, Silver Lake and Affinity Partners. So it's a $55 billion deal. It's the largest private equity, private deal done ever. So it's pretty crazy. The main talking points coming out of this: one, the deal is expected to close Q1 fiscal year 27. More importantly, in this statement from EA, $20 billion of debt financing fully and solely committed to JP Morgan Chase Bank, $18 billion of which is expected to be funded at close. So the simple way of putting that is EA needs to cut $18 billion by the time this deal closes. And we just saw the bloodbath that was Xbox. All right. We saw the cuts that were made and continue to be made after a massive acquisition that, in fairness, was $20+ billion more. So, yeah. But in light of this news, Insider Gaming had the report that BioWare staff is really worried.
I bet.
Yeah, I mean, I can get into that if you guys want me to, but I mean, there's a lot of ways to tackle this topic, of course. The Saudi Arabia angle is a big one. I have theories on why they, in particular, targeted EA, but we can kind of get it started with this writing here from Deuces Bro. He says, hey, guys, could EA going private actually benefit gamers? I know it's being acquired by the Saudis, but they do seem to have a track record of focusing on customer experience and building an overall brand as opposed to squeezing every bloody cent out of an organization. Like it or not, LIV Golf is well known for being customer focused in a pretty fun golf league. Weighing the censorship issues versus the actual game experience, could it be a good thing? Thank you for writing in, Deuces, bruh. So, Cog, I imagine you're caught up a bit on how like Saudi Arabia has been investing big in sports for the last 3 years or so. Brad, are you kind of filled in on this at all?
I know like Live Golf and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they've been branching out. Like they've been doing wrestling stuff, I know.
Yeah,
like,
WrestleMania.
All that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, okay. So everyone's caught up then. Yeah. So my theory is just that they're going after EA because of EA Sports. Like you're already sports washing. You have your money in everybody's pocket. You create a competitive golf league. They have Cristiano Ronaldo. They have their own, like they have the FIFA World Cup coming to them. They're trying to increase tourism. Like they are targeting everything sports and entertainment. UFC is hosting a card in Saudi Arabia. Like everything is being funded by or coming to Saudi Arabia in one way or another. And I feel like if you are controlling the sports market and injecting so much money into it that you're gaining all from it, that you go for the games next. Especially when you have someone like EA who has a death grip on the NFL, right? Like as Cog has lamented many times before, EA got spooked out by 2K5 and they iced the competition by getting that exclusive license. It's been Madden all day ever since. Now they have NCAA. So I view it from that angle. And because I view it from that angle, I do think BioWare's done. I don't think they survive this. I just can't imagine a world where it makes sense, even with Mass Effect in development, even with a TV show planned. I just don't think it survives. I just don't think it makes sense. BioWare never made up a lot of EA's revenue. This Insider Gaming report did say EA was trying to sell off BioWare, and I think that's where they could survive. But BioWare just came off their worst received game ever. Who is going to pay for them? And I imagine the price will still be high because Dragon Age IP still made a lot of money. Veilguard excluded. Mass Effect made a lot of money. It's still going to be a high price tag. So who's going to pay that amount to bring BioWare in-house? Especially when it's not the BioWare that built those brands.
Yeah.
So I could see it being a Perfect Dark situation where it's like, yeah, we want you. Maybe not that much, though.
Yeah.
So I do not think BioWare survives this. I hate to say it. I'm usually not that definitive on it. I could be dead fucking wrong, but I really would be stunned if in this new ownership group where BioWare accounts for very little of EA's overall revenue. And now it's not even like Cheryl's. Like EA's got to answer to a whole new private ownership thing. Like it reminds me a lot of like where Ubisoft was a bit. So I don't think BioWare walks out of this one. And I don't think this will end up being great for gamers. Like, you know, because one of the rumors from Michael Pachter, was that EA wanted to annualize Battlefield. And I was like, why in the hell would you want to do that? I was like, why would you want to do that? The reason Battlefield thrives is market response. You see what COD's doing and you fill that gap and you fucking pile it on like you're doing it this year. But now they're trying to annualize it. And I'm like, oh, this reminds me of like when you're getting ready for acquisition, make yourself look real nice. Like, look how great 6 is doing. We're going to do this every year in 5 to 6 years. It's going to be great. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense now. So I don't think this will be good for the games at all. I know usually privately owned equals like, oh, they don't have to answer to shareholders, but companies still make really stupid decisions. I'll mention Fallout 76 multiple times this show. This is another example. Like this was greenlit when Bethesda was private. Like that was a dumb decision that was made by themselves where they sweetened themselves up for acquisition. Maybe they could have been that early, but I don't think it instantly means that they're going to make better decisions. If anything, their focus is going to be more real. And EA's Financial Times last thing reported that EA is going to be embracing AI development. So I think even their big things are going to get slashed significantly wherever they can. So I think this might be a significantly worse company, in fact, after all this is said and done. And obviously EA's execs are going to do everything they can to get this deal through, because it's like Bobby Kotick, like the massive payday at the end of this for everyone involved, and the golden parachute that comes with it when your contract is up is going to be fucking insane. So yeah, you're going to make it happen for yourself. So those are my kind of thoughts really on everything. So gentlemen, I'd love to hear from you on EA going private. Cog, let's start with you.
I mean, pretty much said a lot of the points I was going to say. I mean, yeah.
My bad. I should have shot.
Nah, you cooking. I loved it. Yeah, it's just one of those things that this wasn't on my bingo card. If you would have told me EA, goes private like before Ubisoft or something like that, I would have been like, get out of here.
That's a good point.
Think about it, right? EA before Ubisoft, right? It's crazy. Yeah. Listen, as much as I give EA a lot of crap over the years, and I've been frustrated with the direction of Madden over the years, I have an affinity for EA from back in the day. As an OG gamer, I remember the EA Sports. It's in the game. Yeah. I come from the Genesis way. It was
big, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, Matt? Remember, Brad, with the yellow tab cartridge? They were very unique. I come from John Madden football, right? Before it was Madden and annualized and all that stuff. And they were just innovators, man. The NHL, like, bro, NHL series got me into hockey, like, because of the video game. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just so many things that they've done. Now, obviously, they went through their bad path, but then I got to give credit. Like, even the last couple of years, you saw a different EA. You saw Joseph Ferris's studio come out of there, and you got the Split Fictions. You think about EA Originals, right? And I shout out to my man from Tales of Cassera or my Bubba Car. You saw certain games. I'm like, okay, you're seeing signs of certain things. Now, granted, yes, Bellegarde, Batty, I get it. Saying, like, that was the last hurrah for BioWare. So I'm in 100% agree with that. That, BioWare is unfortunately not, the status of them is not looking good. I'll be honest, I'm worried about my beloved Respawn. How well did Jedi Fallen Order and all that stuff, Survivor do, right? And that
how much are those licensing fees?
Disney pay, yeah.
How much was those licenses? And what I worry now is, and Maddie nailed it on the head as far as Battlefield. When we all see Battlefield, it looks amazing. It looks like they got a hit. They're going to be competitive in the space. The main thing that me and Maddie did not like, Brad, is when we first heard that announcement, they're like, yeah, so every year. And we like, whoa. You already start
coming on to me too fast.
Yeah, like, bro, you just going to talk about annualization. You just now trying to get your foot back in the game. No disrespect to Vince and the crew, but it's just like, you need to establish yourself. We like you on a 3 to 4 year cadence, and then you can compete, but or just do DLCs or something. But to get into that annualization, and we got to talk about the elephant in the room, which is, if someone's looking at them sexy for investment, they're looking at FIFA, Madden, now Battlefield. Major franchise they think they can annualize and churn out like an assembly line. That doesn't bode well for creatives and original IPs and things, and smaller IPs. Now you're getting into 2K bag, and I don't want to disrespect 2K because they got great games too, but it's just that they only mess around with the hits. They don't want to look at anything else. So I worry about that. I worry about, like I said, my beloved Respawn or certain other studios in that environment. Do you survive? And you said it again, Best Batty, in the sense that, how are you going to get acquired? You're still $20 billion in debt. Think about it. They slashing. They about to be slashing, bro. So yeah. And the last thing, and I don't like to get political. That's not the platform for me. But I have to talk about it pertaining to gaming. Sure. And all I will say is that this regime that is going to be controlling a lot of these IPs. There's certain games you can't make. There's certain games you can't, from a creative standpoint, whether it be, from that background or certain political climate, especially in certain political climates where there's an attack on video games for the causes of things, right? You've got that aspect. So again, as a person who loves anybody to fight from an acquisition for another day to survive, there's a part of me that will never co-sign not being allowed what I want to make. You see what I'm saying? Like you as a gamer, make the game if you want to make. I'm always pro developer on that. This doesn't seem 100% conducive. It would be equivalent to the conversations that we have with Tencent, right? There's certain games under the Tencent brand you can't make. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I worry here. Yeah, this is, man, I don't know. This wasn't on my bingo card with EA. This is
fast
very
too.
shocking.
Rumor broken and just there it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I got.
Brad, hit me with your bars. How are we feeling?
Yeah, it's really weird from like a gameplay perspective because, you know, they pretty much control SNK and all that kind of stuff. And I'm thinking about the fighting games, and the women definitely aren't covered up in those games and stuff like that still, which is very interesting. But I'm not really a fan of seeing, like, as an American, like an American company pretty much taken over by a foreign government and stuff like that. So it's like, I wish it stayed at least in-house from that perspective. But I think this is just the age where, dude, everyone's getting gobbled up. All the big players are getting gobbled up now. It's like, who's going to go after 2K next? Like, that's like the last big one I can think of. I'm sure people are coming after Nintendo already. I mean, Xbox tried it before, but like, I'm sure the Saudi government, they've invested in Nintendo already quite a bit. They had like 9% percent hold on them or something like that. So I just don't want to see the entire game industry get taken over by like China and Saudi Arabia and stuff like that, because I do worry about the artistic.
You need money, but it's a little out of hand.
Yeah. And it's like, I get, you want to survive, like Cog is saying, it's important. It's like EA was surviving regardless, even if they cut BioWare. Those Madden games are still coming out. Yeah. And with Battlefield being annualized, I think that is such a bad idea. When I think about the biggest multiplayer games, it's like, it's the same fucking game. It's League of Legends still, stuff like that. It's Dota 2. It's Counter-Strike. If you get a sequel, you get one like every 10 years, maybe, in that thing. And Call of Duty is like a weird exception because I think people were so used to it, even back on the 360 days and stuff like that, getting them yearly kind of around that era before we had like the modern live service model. So I really hope they don't do that Battlefield, because they've been fucking up on Battlefield. I hope 6 is great, but that's already a live service game like Call of Duty. Like, you're buying your battle pass, they're going to get your money far beyond the price tag to join.
The game just looks way too expensive for there not to be a rug pull. I've said that for so long. I'm just waiting for the star card moment where it's like everything looks stuff right, and then there it is.
That's 100% going to be there. Every AAA dev will do that if they can pretty much get away with it. Yeah, in at least a multiplayer standpoint, because people are used to it, and it is what it is now.
Yeah.
But if they shut down Respawn, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing, man? That's like one of your shining stars. All the games they make are good. All of them.
They have all those canceled projects. That's the only thing I can think of is sort of the blemish. Right? It's like, do they waste money?
I guess a lot of devs have canceled projects, and I hope EA has enough foresight to know that, or whoever's going to be taking over, to like, games get canceled and it just happens for a lot of studios. But you never know. Like you're saying, they're going to make cuts, and I hope some of those gems remain.
Right. Yeah. The last thing I'll say is, at the end of the day, is like, who suffers is not the executive. They're going to get their golden parachute.
Oh, of course, they'll be fine,
right?
Yeah,
right. But it's those devs that we love, the people who create the games, the major creatives that are not considered the banger of franchises. Like I said, I worried about Joseph Fares's now. Like, how did Split Fiction 2 do? Did it do enough for them? Right? You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. That I'm concerned about. And it's just the other thing, and then Maddie nailed perfectly, is that the elephant in the room, another thing for this ownership group to acquire them with their debt, shows me that they feel, you know what, not only could we benefit from it, but if we utilize AI, if we could streamline it and cut costs even more, right?
Yeah,
we
the golden ticket for everything.
Running like a well-oiled machine, which means more job losses and more studio closures. That is pretty scary.
Yeah. It's one of those times where it's like, we've seen a lot of acquisitions that were in survival mode for this generation. So I think the difference, for those who are wondering, in reaction to this one, is like, this is very obviously like a make money acquisition, from all sides. Like, EA would have been fine. Some people were like, well, year on year they weren't growing. I'm like, it's fucking, like, can we stop talking about EA? Like, it's the same thing as like Activision. It's like, well, Activision was losing money. I'm like, Activision losing money is a fucking drop in the bucket, bro. They have Call of Duty. Like, they would forever be fine if they shut everything down except Call of Duty. It's the same shit here. Like, EA would have been fine. They would have, had their ups and downs like any company does, plateaued, grew, fell, grew again. This is a money-making thing. And so, yeah, it's not a survival mode acquisition, at least by any of the optics and the information we currently have right now. It does not look like, EA was on the ropes, It's not the same case as, I think, a Bethesda or something like that, where it's like, oh, they almost kind of seem to have ran themselves out of business, but Xbox swooped in. So it's a shame, but thinking of the devs there, all of them, because I'm sure it's not a good time. But people at Bio were already like, the report was saying they were already like preparing their portfolios last year. So how couldn't you after a launch like Veilguard? It's like, yep, this probably isn't a long-term gig for me. And that's not good for creativity when everyone's kind of sitting there like, I'm out soon, whether it be by my choice or not. That's not going to get you far. So not good news for everything all around.
Fewer places to go.
That too.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's EA. Big news. Kenneth Levine.
Oh.
So yeah, after weeks of teasing, and I apologize to the audience sincerely because I didn't think it would take as long to get approved. I was sitting there waiting, thinking, oh God, they're gonna like set, because what I do is, again, out of respect for anyone I interview, I send out the interview to them and I'm like, say anything you don't like or you feel very uncomfortable about. I want you to be able to come back, come talk to me. Like, let me know if there's anything you need to cut. I've never had anything cut, but when the team for Ken started to take a while, I was like, oh boy. Because I know we talked about BioShock 4, and I was like, I was like, I feel like I'm going to get an email list back to be like this, and this, and also that. And I was like, yeah, I really don't feel comfortable with that, but let's see where they go. But they come back to me and they're like, nope, you're good, go live. So went live with the Ken Levine interview. That was the one I've been teasing for a while, and the one I said was my favorite interview I've ever done. So if you missed that, it's over on my Mr. Matty Plays channel. Please check it out. I'm really, really proud of it. I'm really happy with it. And Ken's an amazing guy. It was really cool to get to talk to him. But I want to just talk about the interview itself and just what I learned, but also had a nice write in here. JP writes, hey Dukes, Matty, congrats on the interview with Ken Levine. I'm just happy to see you continue to get these high profile guests and just want to let you know you've been doing a fantastic job. Thank you. I appreciate that. Have you found yourself getting more comfortable with each interview? I can tell that working on your game has opened up your mind, leading to more pointed questions, which I think has brought out the best in these conversations. Colin mentioned on the stream on Monday that when he reached out to Ken to help facilitate the meeting, Ken said he was familiar and a fan of your work. How does it feel when someone in the industry that you admire is also a fan of you? Thanks for all that you do, and have a September ended but nobody woke me up kind of day. P.S. Cog, I hope you're having a blast in Tokyo with the Iron Lords.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, love that shirt. It's nice. Thank you. Thank you, JP, for writing in. Yeah, so am I getting more comfortable? Yeah, like there's still a level of I have a lot to learn compared to the people I'm speaking to. So I don't want to oversell myself to them at all. Like I know everything that they know because that's how you get caught out in deep waters. And I'm there to learn at the end of the day. Just like everyone else who's listening. I'm trying to put myself in the role of the listener more than anything. So I'm definitely more comfortable because I don't know, but just easy people to talk to. There's no real barrier. It's just, and I think I got to give Brian Fargo a lot of credit because he really kind of massaged my worries because he was very complimentary of the interview and that he said, you really went deep. Ooh. I talked about this a few months ago when I did interview him, and he was like, you went really into these nuanced areas that other interviewers can't because of your experience. And he said, I really appreciated that. He said, it really got me to think. He's like, I've done a lot of boring interviews. And he's like, I don't like doing that, but I do them because it's part of my job. So when he was kind of like fortifying that, I was like, okay, maybe I've got something here. And then I heard similar things from other devs that I was speaking to, or devs reaching out to me being like, hey, this helped me a lot. A lot of people in the Ken Levine interview were writing in with comments like, he's the reason I'm a developer. Like, thanks for your work, Ken. So I feel comfortable because I guess I know what I know I'm achieving what I set out to do. That's what I wanted to do. So I was like, okay, I feel comfortable because I feel like I'm getting the job done. I'm not approaching with a format. I'm just talking to them. Right. Like I always found myself like when I was younger in high school and early college, fascinated by interviewers who sat there like they didn't have notes or anything. They just talked. I'm like, how the fuck do you do that? I was also more recently inspired by Cog. I think Cog's a fantastic interviewer. So watching his natural energy and him just kind of talking to the dev and then letting them speak, you know, like as someone who's always in the hosting chair, I'm always running my fucking mouth. So it's like you observe those things and try to bring them into your game plan. So yeah, like I've been trying to just kind of elevate to the people who are around me. But you know, when Ken said he watched my stuff, I mean, sometimes you wonder, of course, like, are they just being nice?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like are they just
you do.
No, I swear on my life. Like, because I'm not going to sell. I'm a little too humble, if you will, for that. Maybe I don't know if that's even the right word, but I say it like that.
I'm the same as you.
Yeah, like I'm just like I just take it like that. Like when he was like, yeah, I listen to good shows. Like that's what he said. Like I listen to your Fargo interviews. Like I listen to good shows. I like your show. And he told Colin the same thing. And I have all the signs in front of me that he listened, but I just sit there and I'm like, I don't fully buy it because I just can't imagine it. It's just like, what do you get out of it from me? I don't know. I think I'm very fair with Ken though. Like I was one of the people who I like Schreier's work, but when Schreier made like a pretty much a hit piece about him saying like Ken was an auteur and that was a bad thing, I was like, fuck that, dude. Like that's we have so many film auteurs for a good reason. And it doesn't mean it's the right way to do it all the time, but like you get very distinct experiences out of that style. And if people sign up for that and they know what they're getting into, that's all she wrote. So maybe that's where I earned his respect down the road. I don't know. But, you know, just hearing that he listened in general is very cool. Cause I mean, that's one of the most brilliant minds and he shared a lot. Like I did not to over promote to anyone, but I don't think I could ever contextualize all that he gave us. Just because he really, you can feel the 30 years he spent. We talk about everything from like, how do you use AI? He's like data management. And just like he lined it up in a way that made sense. Why is it that your character, your video games art styles don't chase realism? Why do you chase more of like an artistic driven game? And he got into the technical necessity of that. Like, yeah, we use more exaggerated proportions so you can actually see their face, even though you're like across the room from them. But also like I because my interpretation was he likes to make more evergreen things, but he's like, it wasn't really fully that, but you could hear his competitive spirit. He's like, you can't beat someone in that area. And I was like, interesting. So you get into the psyche of how he makes games. We talk about Judas a lot, of course. All of my questions are basically driven through Judas because all of us are wondering when we can finally play that game. You know, we talked about the new villainy system in the game where you can piss off like one of these three characters and how they react to you room to room. I got him to talk about BioShock 4 too. I was very surprised he was open about that. I was like, how do you feel about seeing it? Like, would you ever go back? Not because because he made it very clear. He was like, I'm kind of done with it because I've said all I need to say. And he's like, I would never work on it because there's no help in like parachuting me in and being like, do this, this, and this. He's like, he trusts Rod with the job. He said Rod helped them a lot with the Infinite. So yeah, that's like just some of the highlights that go across my brain. But it's just an amazing talk. Just listening to everything he shares. He really lays it out there, man. Super transparent, super honest. Even about his director style, like he likes what he does because he gets to call the shots. That is his style. And I really respect him for just knowing himself as a creator, being critiqued for it openly, but still sticking with it, you know, and talking about that a little bit. Like we asked him for advice as developers and he said, you need to stick with it. He's like, a lot of people who don't get the job done is because it's just because they stop. You know, there's obviously other factors involved, but he's like, you got to stick with it. Sometimes they're tough. And he shared stories about running out of money and had no employees or whatever, and all these different tales of how the only difference he could make with how depressed he was just sticking with it. And I just found that to resonate with me so much, you know, as someone who just tries to stick with it. I was like, wow, that can be a difference maker to see a guy who I respect so deeply, who has had the highest levels of success, has only put out what I think are generational video games. I don't care if the count's not high. This guy makes an impact when he shows up. That's to me more important than the volume of your work is the quality of it and the impact of it. So to kind of hear him say it's about sticking with it, it just resonated deeply. So I just really recommend people take some time, listen to it. If you got an hour, I think it's an hour, 10 minutes or something like that. Yeah. You'll walk away, I think, understanding games more, definitely more excited for Judas, because you're like, Ken still got it. And yeah, just cannot say enough good words about Ken. Really, really nice guy on top of it all. So just appreciate his time, but it's too many snippets. I just wanted to recap it briefly, but too many snippets to really give everyone the breadth of the conversation in a nutshell. You know, it's not like a Dara conversation where it's like, you know, this thing was canceled and this scoop here and there, you know, like it's a little bit less of that, but it's so insightful. So I hope everyone gives it a listen. I really am proud of it.
Definitely proud of you, man. I got 15 hours on a flight going back, and
you got it downloaded.
Downloaded. I said, my man is shining. Super proud of you, and I love to see that developers feel comfortable, and it feels good to, I don't care what anyone say, any of your peers, right? Even fellow content creators. You've been around, Brad. Like, just anyone that says that, I know your work and I'm a fan of your work. It doesn't matter who it is. It really makes you feel good, because we all bust our ass here, language, but we do. You know what I'm saying? And it feels good to get some form of recognition. And people said they had a positive experience working with you and dealing with you. So super proud, and I cannot wait to listen.
Oh, thank you. It humanizes the process a little bit when you hear see who's watching your videos. That's why I like to go to events, shake people's hands and stuff. It just makes it feel real, because I don't believe half the shit I read.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you interviewed him, was there like any PR people on the call with you guys, or was it just straight both of you?
No, it was just us. Yeah, just him and I.
So those are the best interviews, man, when you get to do stuff like that.
Now that you mentioned that, I've been very lucky that everyone I've spoken to has not. I think Fargo almost did, but Fargo will just say waved them off and was like, I got it.
Yeah.
Again, Fargo's the shit, bro. I fucking love that guy. But like otherwise no one has ever sat in on my interviews that I can but that's two of their people sat in on me speaking to Todd. That was one time. Yeah. And when Cog and I have interviewed some Xbox people, they've sat in. But yeah, we've never had a moment though, Cog, you and I, when we interview people where we're like, that. Like
take that out.
Yeah, I never had that either.
Yeah, I've never had that.
Yeah. So
but I've definitely interviewed people, and there's like just a PR person back there, just watching, and I know
it's tougher in person. I've done that once before with Obsidian. I did an Outer Worlds interview, and like their head PR and like communications people were just in the room, just like this, watching me, and I'm just like, and that's when I was like completely green in the terms of interviewing, and I was like, oh god, don't fuck this up. The embarrassment factor was more so there for me on that, but,
dude. Man, when I've done like Square Enix people and stuff in the past, and like I did Yoshi P, and it's like there's a lot of people around watching that stuff. He was like the coolest interview I ever had, though, by the way. He was
awesome.
Yeah.
He was
I know you did Yoshi P.
Yeah, I didn't know that
when
either.
16 was coming out.
Send me that.
I don't think it's on video, that one. Okay. I have one with Eric Williams, who's the director of God of War Ragnarok, though, where it's like me and my old coworker and friend, Mike Huber, were just talking to him for like an hour and a half, or about an hour and 11 minutes. Really fun talking to devs, dude. Like you're saying, you learn so much about game development. Sense. Like I'm not a developer either, and I know you are, Mag, so you're coming from a whole different place, but just like seeing their mindset and where they're coming from or how they approach things is so fascinating, and I love it.
They're scientists. That's how I think about it. They're scientists, and it makes you understand their process so much more. And I think even for me, like, my developer background, if you want to call it that, allows me to like, I lift some of my experience to throw their way, but there's still so much I have to learn that I'm like learning from them in real time. Like they did just when they've been there and done that. Like when I was talking to Ken, he was like, what did he say? He was like asking me about running the business itself, because I was talking about talking to publishers and all that shit. He's like, yeah, it sucks, doesn't it? And I'm like, well, I said, from your perspective, probably. I said, yeah, that probably sucks. But for me, I'm like, I'm loving seeing what the fuck happens behind the scenes half the time. Like, how do these people talk about games? Yeah, not like a lot of them talk about it great, you know? Like, so I love learning that. I said to him, by game 2 or 3 or 4, yeah, I might be like, fuck this, man. I don't want to like handle this bullshit. But right now, it's just been fun to learn, no doubt about it.
Yeah,
but shout out to Ken.
Coming, dude. I watched quite a bit of it when I was doing cardio and stuff at the gym, and it was really nice. I liked that you asked him about like what is he playing and stuff. What's he liking about games right now? What's interesting him? Yeah, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, because we always think of them just like working, and I'm like, well, what do you guys do in your free time?
Yeah, what are you playing? What do you do? Like, what
a lot of devs abandon playing games. You know, they do. And so it was cool to hear him say like, oh, I'm always playing something. I'm like, nice. That's how you really get it, bro. It's that simple. I always think if you keep playing, you're there. You're in touch with what matters. All right. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for us to sit on that for so long.
That's good. It's a big story, man. You should talk about it.
Fallout 76. Burning Springs update. It arrives this December. Pretty big deal. Walton Goggins in the game. The ghoul has shown up. And we're going to Lord Cognito's favorite place on planet Earth. Ohio. How about that? I texted Cog because I knew he was going to the event. I didn't spoil it for him. I just said, bro, I need the live reaction when you learn where we're going. I said, you'll get it. And he didn't get it. I was like, I had to tell him first. I had to tell him. He's like, what is it, bro? I was like, dude, it's fucking Ohio. You're like, oh. I know you and I both went hands on, so maybe we'll save this for what we're playing. All right, yeah.
Let's save it.
No worries. Just wanted to document that in the news. Then couple of other fun, smaller ones here. We'll zoom through. We'll talk about what we're playing, get some good vibes in before we dive all the way to Xbox Game Pass price hike. All right, Prototype. My God, dude. You had to be there for the Prototype Infamous Wars. If you were not there, you're not a gamer, man. I'm telling you what. So, for those who don't know, Activision made the Prototype games off the Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction video games. Meanwhile, of course, as we know, Sucker Punch was making another superhero-style game. These two went head-to-head in the summer of, I believe, 2009, I want to say. And it was an awesome time. I was a Prototype dude, but I also love Infamous so much. However, fans think they have uncovered another Prototype remaster, kind of like one of those dual engine, we'll say Oblivion remaster style remasters. They think they've uncovered this for Prototype. Now, keep in mind, last week, Cog, I don't know if you listened, but last week, Brad and I were talking about how Transformers games were relisted again, right? This is the second time this has happened. Before that, the Ninja Turtles games got relisted. Like, these Activision games just continue to get movement on the back end. Cog, you and I have talked about this extensively. We still think Xbox will sell us these, as in like not the 25th anniversary back compats here, come on in, but like we're renewing the licenses and like here's War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron in a single package for $60, like one of those things, right? Anyway, a lot of movement on the background here. This write up comes from IGN. They say, while the game has remained mostly dormant on Steam since its release 16 years ago, eagle-eyed fans spot a flurry of updates behind the scenes via Steam DB, if I could talk, as well as a revealing data mine effort that has discovered a mysterious change to connect the game's credits that add in a remaster studio, Iron Galaxy, and a curious reference to Ubisoft Connect. That's not all, though. Quote, so one of the OG modders for the game data mined the recent update and has found a lot of interesting things. Stanley Michelle explained on the game's subreddit. For Prototype 1, they have added some test maps and quite a few names into the credits. There might be some hope for a remaster after all, end quote. They then link 2 text versions of the game's credit roll, which highlights the changes. These include new downloadable content teams, another team for Ubisoft Connect version, Activision localization, Demonware, and finally, Iron Galaxy Studios. In all, 753 changes were made to the original credits list. Quote, one of the new studios in the credits worked on the Spyro remasters, Nixon wrote on Discord. This is 100% confirmed they're remastering the game, likely using the same engine/code or some hybrid like Oblivion. There's a lot of new names in the credits, mainly other Activision studios. I'm starting to think a new Prototype game in the works may be true, end quote. So, can we dream? Can a guy dream? Can we enjoy some good news this fine week? Perhaps. I love Prototype, man. I really do. That first one is awesome. I think the second one is not bad like a lot of people do think. But Alex Mercer is an OG, man. Love Alex Mercer. The ultimate hood up, edgy protagonist. I hope they go for it because it would be the most what the fuck remaster of all time. Gentlemen, you're looking at me silently. Smiles on your face, though. I got to know how we're feeling about Prototype. Brad, I want to kick it to you first.
I was in the Infamous camp, so I never really played Prototype.
Did you ever play the remasters that came around?
No.
No. So you never played these at all?
I just missed the boat on them pretty much.
Bro!
Yeah. I've seen the gameplay. Like, I remember seeing some of my friends play them, but I never actually personally like sat down and played them all the way.
Whatever.
I was too busy zapping people as Cole McGrath, all right?
You were busy doing multiple. I mean, to be fair, you were doing the multiple playthroughs, the good guy, the bad guy playthrough. Yeah.
I was like, dude, Sucker Punch my Sly Cooper guys, I'm in.
Yeah,
no question.
No, easy purchase. I don't blame you. But the free running, as Alex Mercer, bro.
I'm not saying Prototype ain't got good things about it,
dude.
I'm just saying I was there. It was like me with Metal Gear and Splinter Cell. I was in Metal Gear camp.
That was a summer to be alive, man. I had Prototype and I had Red Faction Gorilla on my 360.
Damn.
I was gaming like a fucking OG, man. That was crazy. COG, Prototype, please. I can't. No, he's doing the head scratch. It can't be just me.
I was over there with Brad.
No, even the Xbox guy, man. Come on now.
No, Infamous got me, man. It was something about it. I couldn't put my finger on it. I the Second Son joy, and yeah, I was over there. No disrespect to Prototype. In fairness to you, I don't know if it wasn't just advertised enough for me. It just wasn't on my radar. I didn't really know about it until later. So I didn't know it exists. So that's my thing. But I'm dying to know what it's about, because the fan base is like you, man. They're like, bro, this is the game. Yeah, so there's a part of me that's like, that I need to play this, and they're going to remake it. So this is perfect for a person like me. I get my education, Maddie puts me on game. Yeah. I'm like, all right, let me see what the hype is about, because I love those superhero kind of stories. You know what I mean? And those original type joints. So yeah, I'm down to know what's up with it.
Now, to the sacred boys and girls listening out there, I'm not saying Prototype is better than Infamous. Okay, I do have a brain. I do think Infamous is like the better game in a lot of ways. So I'm just to be clear about that, especially Infamous 2, I think beats all of them. Pretty sound.
God, Infamous 2?
Yeah, Infamous 2 is incredible. So Infamous 2 ended the war. It ended the war, but it was a little more even with the first go around because they were both doing a little bit of different things here. But Prototype is just like a really fun action game. You get to disguise yourself as literally any NPC on the map. Certain ones that you absorb give you, like, there's this whole thing called the web of intrigue. And as you absorb these people, you absorb their memories, and it connects this wide branching narrative. It's very checklist open world stuff. Like, there's like enemy bases that you have to take over. You get certain powers by absorbing certain enemies. So like you'll get a sword, a rock fist hammer. You can destroy tanks and stuff. It's literally a Hulk game, but you're an agile motherfucker. It's crazy. It's really, really fun. So I'm curious to see what they do, especially if they're adding new DLC. I do wonder like how far they're going to push it. But if it's just a glow up, I mean, that could also be good, because one of the things that put Infamous on top of Prototype early were them visuals, man. Prototype's not a looker. You can just go to that. I think it was like 2016 remaster they did. Yeah, man, I got a lot of love for Prototype, but it does not look nice. Very gray, very brown.
Very of that era for sure. Yeah,
yes, absolutely. Well, gentlemen, 2 more stories here to go through. Ubisoft has formed Vantage Studios, and it's to work on some of their biggest franchises. Quote, following the recent announcement of Ubisoft's new subsidiary and its 2 co-CEOs, the company today announced the launch of Vantage Studios, the newly created creative house, now responsible for some of Ubisoft's largest franchises in Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six. Led by Charlie Guillemot and Christophe Derine, Vantage Studios will take on development and expansion of these brands, building on the foundation of Ubisoft's expertise and experience, sharing services and technical resources, all while giving developers more hands-on control over the games they are building. Vantage Studios represents a first step in Ubisoft's ongoing transformation, with plans to set up additional creative houses and group its brands and franchises under the banner of a shared DNA and development expertise. The goal of Vantage Studios and future creative houses is to facilitate stronger and deeper connections between developers and players. This streamlined approach allows for a higher level of autonomy for developers and a shorter pathway between gathering and implementing player feedback, while still offering the benefit of Ubisoft expertise, services, tools, and tech. So, a lot of this sounds great on paper, but also Charlie Guillemot failed upwards tremendously, as did the whole Guillemot family. So, as much as I want to sit here and be like, yes, come on now, the only person who I think would be happy about this news is Sir Colin Moriarty, because Far Cry is going to get the benefit of what do they call it here? Hands-on control over the games they're building. So I'm always very.
And what does that even mean?
Yeah.
I'm like reading a bunch of this. I'm like, what are you guys even talking about, dude? This means nothing.
Yeah, and this is, by the way, for those who don't know, this is as a result of Tencent investing in Ubisoft deeper.
So they're just getting more money.
Studio spinning off. So I just find the wording weird, because it's like you owned this on your own before this, right?
Yeah.
So what is this newfound creative control? It sounds like you've left yourself. And it's like, we call the shots now of our own thing. What? Like, I'm with Brad. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I'm out of my mind here. Is my reading?
It's just like, here's another support studio, I guess. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like, all right.
I guess so. Cog, any thoughts on Vantage Studios?
Yeah, not much to add. Just like I just think of like pipeline stuff, and obviously they're under a lot of pressure to put quality games, and they can't afford misses. So shout out to Cobra Command and Colin, and hopefully as Far Cry gets the love and attention it deserves. All I care about is where the hell is my Splinter Cell? Where's my Splinter Cell? Where's that in Vantage Studios? What are they doing to create
what are they
that
doing
synergy with player delight? I want to see what they use. I like when they say player delight.
Yeah. What are they doing for Beyond Good and Evil 2? What are you guys going to do to help that? Is what I want to know.
Exactly.
Willpower. That's all.
So we'll see. On paper, all of this sounds nice. We'll see the execution.
All right. Last little bit of news before we get into what we're playing. A AAA Lord of the Rings game is in development according to Insider Gaming. Let's read the quick report here. They say sources close to the game tell Insider Gaming that the new title is set to be at least partially funded by the Abu Dhabi Investment Office. This funding should roughly equate to $100 million, give or take. The deal has been in the works since last year, and while not signed yet due to a number of moving parts, is said to be made official, quote, soon, end quote, and could happen as early as next week. Regarding current funding for the game's development, it has been funded internally. As far as what the game will be, sources didn't want to say too much. What was said, however, is that it will be a third-person action game that is designed in a way to, quote, compete with Hogwarts Legacy, end quote. In addition to the Abu Dhabi Investment Office, it was said that multiple parties are involved with the game, including Embracer, Revenge, and other studios. Embracer has had the rights for the Lord of the Rings IP for the video game since 2022 when it paid nearly $400 million. It has since licensed out those rights to other companies to produce titles, including Gollum. When contacted for a statement, Embracer said, quote, a general rule, we do not comment on rumors or speculation, end quote. Revenge, one studio said to be involved with the game, also declined to comment on rumor and speculation. So that's all we've got for the write-up here. A new third-person action adventure AAA video game coming from the Lord of the Rings IP, set to compete with Hogwarts Legacy. I got thoughts, gentlemen. As a Lord of the Rings fan, excited, right? Naturally so, right? Like, okay, cool. Love to see we're getting another AAA game here because you're worried about, hey, we're putting down Lord of the Rings to go chase this Wonder Woman bag, and now we know what happened with that team in Monolith. It's like, okay, well, what's going on with Lord of the Rings? Still feels like, Warhorse could make a AAA Lord of the Rings game. Like, that's an obvious one. There's a lot of ways we could go about this, right? Now, the catch. And I don't think people will like this opinion. The catch is that this is to compete with Hogwarts Legacy. I am not a big Hogleg fan. I'm going to be honest with everybody. To me, it's a very simple... If you are not, which I am not, by the way, a huge Harry Potter fan, I get how it is a delight to many of you because you're like, yes, fucking finally, right? But as Lord of the Rings fans, we've gotten great games like that before. Namely Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War. Hell, the movie tie-ins kick ass. The Lego Lord of the Rings games are great. Like, there's plenty. Lord of the Rings War in the North is awesome. Lord of the Rings Third Age is a great turn-based RPG. There's been Lord of the Rings Conquest, the Battlefront spinoff. There's been a lot of really good Lord of the Rings games. There's been very few good Harry Potter games. To me, Hogwarts Legacy kind of achieves that making the universe feel real, immersive factors, nice details. But again, the hot take, I'll just deliver it right here on a plate to you all. It's a very generic open world game with Harry Potter skins and elements attached to it. Mm-hmm. And so to me, I see that and I'm like, what? Like, what's that mean? That's where my brain goes to.
We haven't gotten a good open world Lord of the Rings game though.
You don't think like Shadow of War or Shadow of Mordor?
No, those definitely don't count as open world games.
They're open world games. Am I bugging?
Bro, you're just walking around in Mordor and you're getting stalked by an orc every 10 minutes. It's amazing. Just constantly, I like the games, man. I've played both of them. Those are not like true open world games. Come on, you're not going to fucking towns and shit like that. You're not accepting quests. You're not doing anything like that.
That's okay. There's no towns. I'll give you that.
There's no towns. There's no quests like pickup boards. You're not talking to NPCs, really. You're talking to Sheila that's a woman now for some reason. Come on, Maddie. There's a lot they could do with an open world thing.
All right,
Even
Brad.
if
Thanks for
it's not
calling my
breaking
shit
new
out.
ground.
You know what? You're right. I'm on board, actually. I'm on board a
Bro,
little
like
bit more.
imagine you can go.
You just
to,
fucking
like,
sniped the shit out of me. I love that.
the
Yeah.
Shire,
Keep going.
Go to the Shire, man. Hang out in a pub or something. Get a
go to the
quest.
Shire.
take
Okay,
out a
I'm there.
troll.
Yeah. You know what?
Dude.
I'm sold. Wow. Hire this guy.
Brad just sold me, man.
It has potential.
Yeah. Okay. I thought Brad was going to be with me. He was nodding his head along, but he was just cooking. I love it. All right, Brad. Well, any additional thoughts on this AAA Lord of the Rings game?
Dude, I hope it's good. You know, it's been kind of an ugly time for a little bit. I was so mad we weren't going to get a third Shadow War game. It's if you guys played both of them in the ending of 2, it's like you can't just end it there, man.
Never
you can't
finished
end
it
there. Well, that's why
Yeah.
we're not getting the third one, Maddie. Thanks, bud.
You ain't support the devs.
Yeah, I was part of the analytics. They were like, "Hey, his achievement date is looking a little low there."
When that game came out, it was in a bad shape.
That's why I didn't finish it. Yeah, I never played it after the microtransaction updates.
I played it after they patched it all, so I was like, cool. But yeah, it was bad when it came out. But dude, there's a lot of potential. They have the Lord of the Rings Online MMO, which is like a different ballpark. But I'm like,
Somehow
dude,
it's
just
still
think of
kicking around. Yeah.
Oh, it's still going, dude. Just think about it, man. The possibility of an open world game. I don't care if it doesn't do anything brand new, as long as they execute on it well. Cool combat, cool characters, cool quest lines, really unique locations you can go to, or iconic locations. Going to Rivendell or something like that. Come on, man. I think Witcher 3, but Lord of the Rings skin on that or something.
Oh, wow.
I like your
Could
optimism.
be cool. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be good. I'm going to expect it to suck just so I don't get disappointed ever. I just expect it to not be good.
Yeah.
Because just like Rings of Power, I'm like, the potential is here. But you keep fucking it up.
To me, I think my brain got married to the idea of if we get a AAA open world Lord of the Rings game, it has to be Warhorse. I'm like, who? I was like, who else?
If they do one, it's like guaranteed.
It would be so perfect, man.
Yeah.
It would be so fucking
Hopefully
perfect.
they do get to do that as well.
Yeah.
hoping.
Why not both, right? Why not both?
Why not both?
All right, Cog. Come shut me up as well. Hit me with it. AAA Lord of the Rings game in development. How are we feeling?
I love the idea of that franchise getting that super polished, that high production value kind of a game. I think that's super dope. Regardless to where I'm similar to you, man, I'm not like a Hogwarts. I'm not a Harry Potter guy, but I recognize. Listen, I'm not going to Snugglepuff and what's them joystick?
Snugglepuff.
I don't know.
Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff,
Yeah.
Gryffindor.
God bless.
Gryffindor.
I know people who are hardcore fans of it. And one thing I will say, one of the greatest like analytical things I seen was that game dominating for the entire year in sales, beating out Call of Duty. I'm like, this fan base is like the greatest fan base. And then also, obviously, the European ties and stuff like that. So that to me, when I see stuff like that, that shuts my hate up like, yo, bro, this is a base that wants games like that. They're thirsty for games like that. And Lord of the Rings, to me, is kind of in that, that circumference where it's just like, bro, that franchise, I watched all the movies. I love that universe. So I'm actually tied to it. So I want a very high production, high fidelity Lord of the Rings. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in for that. So yeah, give it a shot. And, there's a lot of investment behind it. Hopefully the right studio is behind it. I agree. Warhorse would be an amazing pick. But look, I'm supporting the effort because there's certain franchises that I feel are long overdue that deserves, like, for example, like Game of Thrones. Like, I was shocked. Like, I just saw like a mobile game for the first time. I'm like, really? Like, it's and that looked good. But I'm like,
they missed the window something fierce. Game of Thrones is crazy.
Right? Think about the windows that's missed. So yeah, Lord of the Rings, let's go. I'm pulling for you. Let's see what you do, man, because I love that series.
All right, gentlemen. Well sold. I'm on board.
All right.
Let's talk about what games we're playing. One last dosage of positivity before the rush. We're all playing a lot of stuff here. Cog, you've been on the road. We haven't got to hear from you for a while now on what you've been playing. So let's start with you. What have we been gaming with?
Yeah, so I had a little access thing going on before I did my trip. Shout out to Bethesda. And they were in New York, and I got to talk to the directors of Fallout 76, Burning, always say Skies, Springs.
Not Resistance. Yeah.
Bro, exactly. It's in my head. I gotta stop it. But Springs, man, and Cog like to go back to Ohio. He loves Ohio. But we back in my comfort zone when good things happen. Now, but all in all, just talking with the devs at first and them explaining, them going to this area and all the updates to the game was just insane. And I'm a person that's been very far removed from it. So to see where they've gone and to see this engine and how well it's playing, I'm like, damn, Fallout 76 is really good now. Like I was shocked, to see how well it played. And then the big thing that I think is going to blow everybody away is the fact that me and Maddie has always said, when you have the Fallout TV series, and you have it cooking the way it is. And we know, yes, we want a dedicated Fallout game. I get it. But 76 was the recipient of the good news and the goodwill of the series. And they saw this mass influx of players. Now to tie the Ghoul and Walton Goggins in Fallout 76 is huge. Quest Giver, they got this kind of lawless areas, very Western, kind of Wild Wild West kind of feel.
Yeah.
You got a quest, you got bounties. The map is huge. The public, as a person who's a Destiny fan, it spoke to me because the public events were really good. I thought they were well placed on the map, very interactive. The way designs, the way the quests are given out, I felt was more streamlined. Look, that spoke to the devs as well. They are not shying away from the hardcore as far as getting yourself to a level to be able to do raids. And once you have those kind of high level activities, you have my attention. Now, I will admit, my only negative is that for a person who hasn't played, it's a bit overwhelming. The onboarding and all the things you can do. So I'm like, okay, what do I do here? What's going on? And I had to push back on them on one thing. So I'm like, okay, you got all these great features, great updates. You're tying it to the series. And according to lore, there's a reason by lore that the Ghoul is there.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see how that ties into the show, or how it ties in. But there is legit synergy now, which is dope. My only pushback, I got an answer I didn't like, but again, plug. Please check out our interview on Iron Lord's podcast. It's up right now. If you can get a chance, I interview a guy, I believe that John Rush is one of the gentlemen, and Bill, I forgot his last name.
Bill Lacoste.
Lacoste, yeah, thank you. And great guys. And these guys play their game. They play their game. They know their game.
Yeah.
Front to back. Very impressive stuff. But I had to push it. I'm just like, look, you guys are having a resurgence. You're doing the right moves. What the hell's up with the cross play situation? And I got an answer. I didn't like it, but the answer was kind of like, look, from a development standpoint, the way it's coded, they just literally can't do it unless they made a new game. And they still have the older
Don't tempt them, please.
And I was like, man, that's the only thing. Because I feel like, to me, that's the cherry that's missing. You got to get PlayStation guys, Xbox guys, PC, everyone together. I'm like, come on, guys. You know what I'm saying? But I got the answer. They didn't run from it. I thought they was going to run from some of my questions. They took it face first, but they just said, pretty much what it is. They still got more they can add on, with the current build that they have. But from a fidelity standpoint, it looks great. So yeah, that was my experience. Death Claws was outside. I was fighting Death Claws. It was
Did
great.
They tell you the same thing, like the three principles are like Raiders, Death Claws Desert, or something like that?
Yes, bro. So I loved it. So that was the first game. If you want me to talk about the second game, let me know. I know you played Fallout as well, Maddie. So I don't know if you want to
let's trade some thoughts here.
Yeah.
76 hater played it.
I'm surprised they fucking invited me. I saw the email in my buzz. I was like, okay.
Same. I was like, I
took it as a shot of confidence. I was like, okay. 76 community is amazing though. Like a lot of people at that event were really nice. And I know the 76 community can also be very defensive. So I was happy that I wasn't in there getting fucking targeted. That's what I was kind of half expecting. I was like, oh boy, I'm like the half cocked Fallout 76 hater coming in here. But really nice people there. It was a good event. So we played about 2.5 hours, close to 3, and 30 minutes of which we were able to capture, which I don't like that. Didn't like that part. But that aside, we got to experience what is a new map. Walton Goggins was there in text-to-speech form, though, so we didn't get to see him in the flesh. So I didn't really even, frankly, I didn't even really bother with him because right when I heard the "Hello, my name is logo," I was like,
AI version.
I was like, Yeah, I was like, I'm out. But Walton Goggins is my GOAT, so I'm very happy to see him here in 76. I think it's a really cool addition. I think it makes a lot of sense too. The new zone is very Fallout. It's old school Fallout inspired, and it's very in line with the TV show. It is, that kind of deserty location, sandy, just depraved of life. It is very Fallout. The location is actually the strongest part of this all. They did a really great map expansion with Skyline Valley as well, which I covered and thought was really good. It was actually one of the first 76 updates after Wastelanders, which came out in 2020, that I did like. So both their map expansions are looking to hit for me. Burning Springs, though, I really got to shout out, dude, they had the World of Corn. Yeah. They had the city of Athens. They had a lot of really cool, interesting locations that when you started to read the terminals and the notes and get into some of the quests, I mean, they had a mini golf course. It was an unapologetically Fallout slice of the world. The whole game now has what I think is a pretty good map. I do think Fallout 76's map in the scope of Fallout as a whole is very underrated. I would go that far as to say, I think it's really good. But this part of the map is some of the strongest the game has. It's hilarious. It's dark. It's interesting. It's everything I love about Fallout. So I was like, okay, cool. So I didn't really even need the Walton Goggins to get me in. I just like more quests, more to explore. So my tough pill to swallow at the event was this, right? They've been saying for a while now, since June, big updates coming. It's our biggest ever. I think even the email we got said biggest update ever. 76 fans know what the biggest update ever is. It is Wastelanders. Wastelanders came out in 2020, saved the game. NPCs were added. They overhauled all the locations. It was a 15 to 20 hour main storyline. There's some choice and consequence. It just completely put the game in a position where it went, okay, you can build off this. It was the new framework that adjusted to most of the game's criticisms, right? That was a lot of content. And it's a lot to give away for free, no doubt. But with how great the game is doing, when they told me biggest update ever, myself and many other 76 players were like, this is going to be bigger than Wastelanders. They're saying it's the biggest update ever. When we're talking to developers and we're like, hey, how long is this? And he goes, 6 to 10 hours. I was like, oh, that's sure. Even with the map expansion, bro, I'll just say in that 2.5 hour window, I went up and down that new part of the map, saw everything that was there. I do not see this being anywhere close to their biggest update ever. Does that mean it's bad? No. But I just want to make sure people's expectations are in check, because that did take the wind out of my sails a little bit. My expectations were in a different place. I thought this was going to be huge. It's moderate. And that's still good. But it's just something to keep in mind. I think for a lot of people, it will not matter, because there are still a lot of people who are diving into 76 for the first time. And so this is going to be on top of everything you've missed, which means that it's a non-factor. You already have so much content to play. And a lot of it lately has been good. I'm just glad they're focusing on content that I care about. I care about these map expansions and these new storylines. And that to me is what gets me playing 76 and enjoying it. I really liked Skyline Valley. I think I feel very confident I'm going to like this, because it's more of the type of Fallout I like. You can play it single player. I like the events in 76. It's got good stuff here. Take it from me, I guess, right? If I'm saying it, maybe there's something to pay attention to with this one. But I think they're doing good work. Just don't go in expecting this to be bigger than Wastelanders. If it is bigger than Wastelanders, they completely undersold it as that. And maybe there's more content tucked elsewhere that I don't know about. But overall, was pretty pleased with it. Walked away with generally positive impressions. Go ahead.
This is paid content, right?
No, this is free.
Oh, this is free? Wow.
Yeah, all their stuff has been free. Cool. That's the one thing you cannot take away from 76.
Content updates.
Huh. Well, here's why. They have the Fallout First subscription service.
Yeah,
that's $15 a month. Battle passes. And the Atomic Shop that rotates items often.
Right.
And because I was surrounded by the 76 faithful is what I would say, they are current, the hardcore. They were like, when are you guys bringing this back to the Atom Shop? Are you bringing this back to the Atom Shop? That's where their heads are at. They pay attention to the shop on that level of rotating cosmetics and stuff. They care about that shit. So it's a totally different breed of Fallout fan. I'm going to be honest. And I don't mean that judgmentally. I do not mean that in a negative way. So please don't take it that way. It is a totally different breed of Fallout fans compared to me, who I'm just what's the story? What's the location? What's the lore? I got people next to me who are like, what's in the Atomic Shop? I'm like, holy shit, bro. Could not be more different.
Yeah,
but it was interesting. it was a good social experiment.
Okay. Yeah, no, it was.
Throw myself into the wildfire.
Likewise, again, I'm the Destiny guy. I'm like, I don't really play 76 like that. So for me, I'm curious to see, how it played. And I was very transparent. Like, look, guys, how do you get me as the new player, the person who, has been removed from this game since almost launch, right? And, get me involved. And I felt there were a lot of things that synergized from a kind of a, don't say like a Destiny type MMO thing, but there were some sensibilities that I was just like, okay, I enjoy doing this with a group. But the other thing that I like about the game is Fallout enough that I could play it single player. And I was like, okay, I like that.
This is what Elder Scrolls Online did, and it worked tremendously.
Yes, and it worked. So yeah, that's where they got me on.
Right on. All right. Well, what else have you been playing? Sure.
Yeah. So other than
Why
that,
can't I talk this episode? Jesus Christ.
You good, man. I've been gallivanting around Tokyo, so not too much gaming. You know what I'm saying? But the other thing I did, I started on the plane because I was going through a bunch of games, and then you try something that I was just stuck on it, and I was playing 16 still. I was like, man, I gotta get this Alters second playthrough because I didn't get the full ending. And again, there's like 9 different Alters in the game. I think during the course of one playthrough, I encountered 4 of them had an ending that was, really controversial and great. But I was dying to know what the other path is because it opens up some other moral choices that are deep. And so I want to shout out this man. I believe his name is Alex Jordan, who is the voice director, actor that plays all the Alters. If this man does not win an award, or at least, I forget when, nominated. If he is not nominated for his multiple versions of these characters, whether it be, now I'm playing the miner, you've got the shrink, you've got they are the scientists. They're all distinctly sounding personalities. It's insane what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So this game is so addicting, man. So I'm back on it. I'm on the final act. I don't want to spoil too much for people who need to play it, but right now this game is really challenging me on my morality and what it is to be human, as well as when people push the idea of science. Is it truly beneficial to humanity? Or are you becoming something else? This game tackles deep core issue. It's way deeper than people think, and I would love people to try it. And the replayability is fantastic. Now that I'm seeing all the things and then shout out to them. When you play the game a second time, or it makes it easy. First of all, shout out to them for listing all your saves and then having it just go back at the point of a diversion, maybe, months ago when you started that save. Chef's kiss. But also when you go to dialogue choices, showing the selection of what you picked last time on every bit of dialogue so that you can deviate if you choose to. I think it's really well done, man. They got DLC, they got content coming eventually. Shout out to the Alters, man. I am loving my second playthrough. It really showed me how much more deeper the game was than I thought it was.
Right on. That's good. Yeah, I know you've been loving that one. So going back for playthrough number 2, anything else while you've been out there? Has there just been a lot of gallivanting in Tokyo?
Well, yeah, a lot of my stuff is going to be pretty much what I experienced in Tokyo. So again, I told you I played the Xbox Rock Ally X. I played Final Fantasy VII Remake on it. Ran phenomenal. I was right, Brad. I was in Midgar. I was tearing things up. Looked phenomenal. Ran phenomenal. No complaints there. I want to shout out this game called Reanimals. The makers.
Oh, dude, that's the Little Nightmares new game. The devs of the first 2
games.
games.
That one looked good. Yeah.
That game is fire. 2-player co-op, couch co-op as well. I got content coming for that, as well as online and I believe cross-play with everything.
Oh, great!
Switch, Xbox, bro. That game and the scariness, the puzzle making, but also the chase sequences. This game will terrify the hell out of you. This game is phenomenal. Shout out to them. We missed Planet of Lana 2.
Oh yeah, you love the first one.
Yeah.
I will say, one of my favorite developer interviews. Stay tuned for this one. I got him, also the two developers on the game, directors on the game, as well as the sound composer who did also The Last Guardian.
Oh,
bro.
Okay.
He never comes outside. So it was a 3-person interview that'll be up shortly as well. That game is phenomenal. Again, it was the game I didn't know I would get a sequel to. I actually love the synergistic connection between Lana and Mui. It was almost like this little cat, thing, the cooperative aspect of it, the puzzle making. They've really taken it a step forward further. They continued the story. The gameplay is phenomenal. They did get a Game Pass back, but they're on everything as well. So the game really must have done well. So I'm very happy for them. And what else? So many games I played, bro. I was just guided to see what's going on. We talk about shout out to the OGs. If you ever played Time Crisis, remember those games?
Oh hell, dude! I had Time Crisis 1 on PS1. I had the whole kit. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to, I forget the company there. I believe it's with a G. It's like Game. It's a weird name, but they've now modernized. They got a license with Bandai Namco. Works on OLEDs and all this stuff. It's like a 3-game pack. Got Addict to play a Time Crisis game for the first time. And he was loving it, man. Foot pedal the whole nine. So yeah, a lot of content, man. But I really, really enjoyed my time. And unfortunately, I tried to play Yotai, y'all, but that live PlayStation Live was crazy, bro. Yeah. Their media day had 50,000 people.
That's crazy.
What? Holy crap.
Bro, I'm like, all of y'all are not media. What's going on? Like, there's no way. I had to get a little bougie. I was feeling arrogant, man. I wanted to peruse through this joint and feel special. And I'm like, why are there so many people?
They're like,
here?
that man bleeds green. That's why. Get to the back of the line.
Get to the back of the line. You are nobody special, son. So yeah, shout out to that. And then there's one other game, but I can't. It's my small Indonesian team. I forget the name. I will get it. It's kind of like a Prince of Persia style game, top down, female protagonist. Really cool, man. Small team. I think the publishers like Red Dead Games or something like that. Man, this game is fun. I forget the name of it off top because I play so many games, but it's a small indie game. I wanted to shout them out. That was also another highlight of my experiences. But yeah, man, more stuff to come. And I got a lot of content for you guys. But I was excited to talk to the game show.
Good stuff. I'm glad it's delivering. And so how many more days are you out there for?
We return. I fly back on Saturday. So this is the vacation portion. And we see it a lot, man. We did Shibuya. I did my Yakuza pilgrimage. I was in
yeah.
I was in Camarocho. Yeah. I was down the streets. I took the famous picture. Yeah. I was in Ichiban and Kiryu territory. I did that. Oh, bro, the pop-up shops are amazing. Shout out to Super Potato. You can get any old thing, man. Classic NES, Famicom, Vita games. Oak, bro, for really cheap prices. And people are telling me these are the jacked up prices. I'm like, that's still what the yen conversion rate is still good. Now, I got a creepy cog confession story.
Oh, God.
Oh, no. Not in Japan, Cog. No.
Bradley, you gotta come get me, man.
Okay.
Addict forced me to go to a Pokemon cafe.
Oh, shit.
Bro, they caught me, man. They caught me.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
What'd you get?
I had my Gengar.
Come on, Gengar's got such a cool factor.
Had me loose with my Gengars, man. We had our Gengars out. Bro, let me tell you, this shit, if you're a kid who loves this damn franchise, this is the most fun place in the world to be.
Yeah.
Bro, you come out there, they got the shop, the merch, but they got a cafe. Bro, the food, everything. I had Snorlax, shrimp and rice with a Pikachu. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, and the food is amazing.
I was about to ask you how it tastes.
Bro, then they come out, Pikachu comes, they all got the Pokemons while the kids are clapping and doing songs. I'm like, this is kind of fire. I ain't going front.
Yeah.
I'm having a good time. I resisted going to this place. And I checked my Twitter. Bro, I had a ball at the Pokemon Cafe. It was crazy, man. But yeah, shout out to Japan. It's been great. And obviously I did my little pilgrimages to, did the My Giant Temple, see some shrines, some Torii gates. One thing about Tokyo, I'll say from a gamer, it's almost, what's that word? Where you feel like you've been somewhere before. What's that word?
Deja vu?
Deja vu. Because when you see the streets and you play like a Ghostwire Tokyo, or you play, you're like, yo, that's this. I've been here. These are architecture structures that are familiar. This city is familiar.
Man, I'm going through your pictures right now. I gotta call it Astro Parrot. Why is this dude side questing constantly? How did he end up here?
Bro, how did I forget? Shout out to LSM fam.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man Jimmy V. Shout out to Astro Parrot. Bro, LSM fam pulled up. They're like, oh, we heard you in Japan. We gonna be in Japan too. Shout out, we linked up at the Sky Tree.
Bro.
Yeah, linked up at the Sky Tree. They pulled up. We had a ball there. That place is phenomenal. You really see how huge Tokyo is.
You're wearing the City Connect shirt out in Japan. We love to see it.
Yes, sir. Bro, it is the Mount Fuji in the back. Tokyo's fun, man. It really is. You have to spend a lot of time to truly see everything, but it's been a blast, man. You know, shout out to everybody who pulled up. There were people that pulled up or be in the event. I was like, what you laughing? You saw it?
This video. I click on this one video you got, and like, here's "Let's Go Sonic," and it's just like Mega Man walking in front of Sonic and Shadow and these giant mascots, and that's really good,
bro. Tokyo, when it comes to mascots, fandom, they got swag. They always give you swag there. Mm-hmm. They just lining up to give you stuff. But the thing about it is, it's from the old era, Brad, like the Booth Babe era. Like the fan service. Oh, bro, it's there. So TGS was for me, man. I really, really enjoyed it.
He's getting his health, his wealth on in Tokyo. Look at this man living his best life. Last question I got for you is how the food has been in general, like beyond the Pokemon Center. Like, tell me what's COG's premium dish? What's it been?
All right, so my favorite place in Japan are these things called izakayas. So izakayas are kind of like these hole-in-the-wall spots. And you wouldn't even know. Like, it looks like a regular building, and it'll tell you, go to the second floor. And then you go in there, and it looks like, some of them look like a Shinmu dojo. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember when we went to Ryo Suzuki's house in Shinmu? And how some look like that, right? Some are really like little seedy, where it look like little businessmen, little mall guys going, something like that. But what I like is the order system is all streamlined. Usually it's like a tablet. Everybody does the group order. And bro, some of the best food, like I would say like they're almost like chicken. I don't know what they like, what a steak. I don't know what it's called, but it's like really good. The rice,
like a shish kebab chicken.
Yeah, almost like that. The ramen, y'all. I went to Yokohama with ramen, the originator of ramen, and you would love this place, Matty. It looks like a place they built like an underground city of how Tokyo used to look in the past, right? And they kept it feels like you're in Fallout. You know what I'm saying? Like this.
When you say underground, I hate to say this. Wasn't there a location in Like a Dragon that had you going underground? Is it that, or am I like overlapping? Like, or is it like that? I should say.
This is like, just picture like you went to you went back in time, and you're going underground and they really recreated the city with the authentic, grimy, dirty looks. It just feels like I'm in Fallout. I feel like I'm in the Fallout. It's called I think it's like the Ramen Center in Yokohama, Japan. It's the greatest experience going. Some of the best
museum?
Food. Ramen Museum. There we go. Thank you. That place. Just Google the pictures.
Yeah, I'm looking right now.
They recreating first of all, is a museum on the top where you learn about the history of ramen, the influence, how it came. And then when you go further down, they built a city of all these famous places. And this is where the locals go to get the good stuff. Man, I was blown away, man. Shops in there, old school candies, old school sweets.
I know those business expenses are going to be going crazy.
Yeah, for sure. So that was definitely another highlight, man. Shibuya, again, for the Yakuza stuff, Shinjuku for the Sega store and all that other stuff. And yeah, man, it's not enough time to see everything, but that's why I'm glad we spent. After TGS, we got like 5 days to just kind of adventure out and go see stuff. And then tomorrow we're gonna do the Square Cafe, Brad.
Cool. Hell yeah.
I got my yen ready. I'm about to blow my whole budget. I'm about to buy everything Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Bro, it's up. It's up. So yeah, this is what I've been saving the money for.
Right on. All right. Brad,
Yes.
what have we been playing, sir?
So I'll just talk briefly. Last night I played some of Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, the reimagined version of Final Fantasy Tactics, which was originally came out in 1997 on PlayStation 1. Then we got War of the Lions on PSP. I forgot what year that was, but that added new cutscenes and like new characters like Balthier and stuff. But this version is kind of based off the original version more so. Like there's no Balthier's not in this game or anything like that, but it has the characters from the original, if you know who they are, and it has like a lot of the cutscenes from War of the Lions. But a huge addition they have also added is voice acting in the game, which is very good. It sounds very good, especially because everyone has really crazy names. And I'm like, oh, that's how you say it, kind of thing.
Isn't that a great feeling?
Yeah. Yeah. So I only played like 2.5 hours of it last night, but dude, I was feeling the fucking itch to grind job points already. I was like, oh man, I got to get this ability with this class. I'm going to switch over this class. I'm just redoing battles and all that kind of stuff, grinding up, unlocking these jobs and abilities. Loving it. This story is really good in Final Fantasy Tactics. If you guys aren't aware, it's very like political and everything like that. Very Game of Thrones, I should say, like warring factions. Nice. Like if you played 16 kind of echoes a lot of stuff that's like similar about it. All these like factions fighting and stuff. So it's a very like serious and mature story here. So it's an incredible game. It's a must play in my opinion. It's an all-time classic.
Whoa, Brad, don't set me too high on this one. Hang on now.
I'm sorry, dude. It's an all-time classic. It's what got me and many others at the time into tactics games. It's kind of like the grandfather to me, like at least like tactical grid-based RPGs and stuff like that. I know stuff was before it, of course, like Tactics Ogre, but this is kind of the one that put it on the map, in my opinion, in the West. Must play, especially if you like Final Fantasy. You're going to like this game, I think. There's like new difficulties now. So if you want to bump it down, bump it up, you got all that stuff there. And they redid a lot of the visuals to make them upscale better on modern like displays. Nice. But they also have like the original game in there as well. So if you want to get like the true PS1 experience in there.
Cool.
There you go.
Nice.
And awesome game.
What version did you play the most of? Like, did you play the PSP version a lot when you were growing up, or was the PS1?
I played the PS1 version the most. Okay. The PSP one I only went through one time.
Okay.
But the PS1 one is one I played the most. I've only beaten them each probably once, but I replayed a lot of PS1 with like my friends and stuff like that.
Sure. I was just wondering because I was curious. Sometimes you play a game that was made with handheld in mind, and then when you go to play it on a console, you're like, damn. Wish I had the handheld experience. Good to go. So I was curious if that was how you were feeling about that at all.
I mean, I guess you can play it on handheld if you want. Nowadays,
yeah, of course.
To me, it was always like console game first.
Sure.
Anyway, so that's what I'm used to. Later tactics games were on handheld, but can't go wrong either way.
Okay.
But yeah, I can't recommend it enough. I'm so pissed because there's so much good shit out right now, and I'm like trying to find.
That's why I dodged it. I was like, I made the mistake of starting another new game. I was just like, what am I doing, bro? But I can't help myself.
I played a little bit of Trails still, Maddie. Still very slowly chipping away, but I will beat the game.
Sure.
It's still very slice of life kind of thing like that right now. Yeah. Maybe escalating a little bit from the narrative perspective. Sure. But I'm enjoying it, but it is just a slice of life game for now. Nice. But I'm cool with that.
Nice.
And I beat Silent Hill F, at least the first playthrough. I finished it.
Woo!
I really enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was really good. Nice. Not a game for everybody for sure, but I think the narrative was super impactful in the game. Like I really liked the main character you play as.
She's Hinako. Awesome, bro. Yeah.
I really like her as a character. I think she's awesome. I was like rooting for her the whole game. And if you got me rooting for your like main character, you got to sell right there.
Yeah.
You've been playing it too, right, Maddie?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I started it after we spoke about it last week. I was itching to get into this one because I am a fanboy of this franchise. Late bloomer for sure, but like I think Silent Hill is art, and I really stayed on media blackout for F. Like I knew it was Japanese horror. We knew about Ryukishi being involved. Like there were elements of it that maybe go, okay, they're taking this seriously. They're swinging big with it, but. I heard the murmuring headlines of like, it's not like Souls-like. And I went, why is this even coming up in the conversation? And, you should play it multiple times. Or There's the story difficulty. You maybe want to do that first. A lot of interesting headlines popped up, which again, I like to stay out of when I've already committed in my head to like, I'm going to play this. So diving in, man, I got to say, there's an adjustment phase for the combat. It is definitely a love it or hate it combat system. I think like if people hate it, I get it. But also as someone who's been skill issued by this game, I'm playing on the hardest difficulty for combat, at least. Like pretty much all of the deaths are my fault. Like what gets me is the checkpoint system. That's the part that does suck when you. Yeah,
sometimes you have to go back kind of far.
If you're playing on the easy difficulty, which my friend is, he's like, I don't even know what happens when you die. So it seems like there's two extremes here.
Yeah.
And I'm on the other end of the extreme where I'm dying a decent amount of times. And my frustration is not like, oh, I fucked up. It's like when you fuck up, my God, do you get punished? You get punished really bad with those. You thought Dark Souls runbacks were bad, but this game with its like very slow, methodical combat system, you got to have patience. You got to have patience if you're going to play on the hard difficulty, which I've liked a lot otherwise because I played Silent Hill 2 and 3, the originals, by the way. And this game's combat system feels very true to the essence of OG Silent Hill. I love how James controls in Remake. I think he's really good. Like it's Resident Evil 2 Remake, but it's Silent Hill 2. I wouldn't have it any other way. However, there was a fair argument to be made when that game came out, which is like, why is James so good at everything, bro? Like this is a normal guy and he's like bobbing and weaving and beating the shit out of things. He's amazing with all these different weapons. Like you kind of have to disconnect that part of your brain. But with this one, like you're a schoolgirl and you're just using what's at your disposal, and the melee focused combat being slow and just like deliberate. And you have to be very thoughtful when you attack. I'm in love, bro. I really think it's awesome. Like it's challenging, but Souls-likes have broken people's brains where they're like, well, it's very much like a Souls-like because there's a lock-on and a melee system. I'm like, no, dude, like not even fucking close.
You got 3D combat. People think it's Souls-like automatically.
Yeah, I'm like, not even close, dude. Like this is about durability management. This is about memorizing some of the attack patterns, counterattacking, but it's really about like, this game baits me more than any other Souls like I've played recently. Like the way the mannequins are like twisting like this and coming at me. I'm like I swing early. I'm like, fuck, they got me. You know, like it's a great bit of tension. And to me, I always define Silent Hill as like relentless. It's relentless oppression in every phase of the game. You never get comfortable. And I love that the combat represents that. The story, so I just got to the point where, no spoilers, but I reached someone's house and then got yeeted out of that house.
Okay.
So I'm pretty, to my understanding, deep in the first playthrough. And I'm very interested in the story on two levels. One is, like you mentioned, Brad, the main character. I just think Hinako kicks ass. She reminds me a lot of Heather from Silent Hill 3, and I think it's because some of the themes in the game I'm really impressed by. Like we can address the elephant in the room a little bit. It's not commonly spoken about themes, and I love how they're tackling it within their own culture. I think that's admirable.
Yeah,
and they're doing it with
the time period and the place it was taking place. And
I don't want to spoil the theme for anyone because that's part of, I think, Silent Hill is discovering it. However, they're also very on the nose with it in a way that's different. Like they do spell some things out for you, which is it's interesting because when they immediately pretty much tell, like literally 10 minutes in the game, you'll read the first journal page about yourself. You'll be like, there's the theme of the game. Weird, because most of the time in Silent Hill, it's like, what is the message? It eludes you the whole way through until it body slams you in the last hour of the game. You're like, oh my God, it all makes sense now. All that confusion you were wandering through now just has context. In this game, though, it gives you the context. And so you have this understanding of everything you're seeing. It's still stroking your intelligence constantly because you're trying to dissect, like, why does the enemy look like that? What does this building mean? Why am I going here? What do these notes mean? But then there's this, I won't say when, because I don't want to give it away for anyone. But there's this moment, Brad, I'm sure you know what it is in the story, where you learn something. And when you hear this conversation happening and you're walking in on it, you're like, oh, well, certainly I didn't know that. That changes everything now. What does that mean for everyone around me? What's going on with those interactions? It is a real flip. And so the narrative just has me gripped. The music is incredible. The Akira Yamaoka like combat style of very tension built, but also uncomfortable. It's a very unique music style. Peaceful though too at times. It's everything, man. It's everything I wanted to be. I could totally see this being in my top 3 for sure. Like it is really, really special.
What's cool about it, Maddie, is I beat it and I was like, okay, I immediately want to start over again and see what's different this time around.
Yeah,
I've
heard, and I saw Gene was talking in the server because we were chatting about it a bit. New cutscenes, new enemies, new everything, like new places to explore. Like many are saying the story is completely recontextualized by the time you get to the end of multiple playthroughs. That type of layered shit. I mean, again, to reference the conversation we were having in our staff Discord, it's like, that's Nier, bro. I love Nier. Like I love when you repeat through something and there's a meaning that's very deep within that. And so I just love that it's a bottomless mystery, which is what I think Silent Hill is also really good at. So it really respects the originals in a way that I wasn't expecting. I was like, wow, this feels like a truly modern yet old Silent Hill game. It respects all of the ideas, the jank that came with it. Like I think it's beautiful in that way, because now these two the remakes from Bloober Team are really great survival horror games in their own way. And F kind of lives in contrast to that for the originals. But to see how well it was selling off the bat, I'm like, great, dude, this could not be fucking better for this franchise. And also, hey, man, let's give Konami props. Like, this is from them. This is not like we're remaking an old thing or a remaster.
Good point.
You know, this is them handling it relatively.
Neowards too. Yeah, they're the ones who made it.
Yeah. You know, I'm surprised by that. Them getting back into game development. I think all of us were like, how's this going to go? And they did the safe experiments, the collections, the remasters. But to me, this was the real test. It's like, you have no blueprint. You're making something new. What is that going to be like? And you're doing something different. Like you're in Japan for the first time. What does that mean exactly? And so, I mean, I'm very optimistic about what they can do if this is how they treated Silent Hill, which I know was for a while considered very niche. I'm very excited for what they can pull off. So yeah, I've been loving it. Really, really loving it.
Nice.
Good. Glad to hear it. Yeah, I can't wait to play more.
Yeah.
And last thing today, after this, starting Ghost of Yote.
Excited
for that.
Yes,
Very excited.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Yote is, I guess that's all you're playing this week, Brad?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I can get in mind.
Focused on Silent Hill, finishing it.
Yeah.
Sure.
One run through.
How long did it take you, by the way? I meant to ask that. That in-game clock is strict, though, bro.
Yeah, the in-game clock is very strict. I want to say like in-game it was like 9 something, maybe.
Okay.
For
cool.
Playthrough.
Cool. I'm at like 6.
I played on hard, Maddie, too, pretty much the entire game until near the end because I was streaming it, and I was like, well, I want to finish the game before I end stream. And it definitely feels like hard is New Game Plus difficulty. Definitely feels like that.
Yeah, I was getting that vibe, but at this point, I'm committed to the bit. I'm like, whatever.
Oh, yeah, I get it. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm already here. Normally, I don't mind bending the knee, but I was like, you know what? I'm already here. I'm loving how this is fueling my experience. I'm kind of just, there's no rush, whatever.
Yeah.
But good to know that you're on the same page as me with that, because I was feeling that the same thing. I was like, I think I made a mistake here. Okay. Yeah, I want to play Yote. I definitely do. But I made a mistake. Started another new game. I got a lot more to finish, as you guys can tell, because all of these are games in progress that I'm playing. So we'll get Trails in the Sky remake out of the way. 20 plus hours in, still continuing to be phenomenal. Just I'm doing all the content, like, which I usually don't do in these Trails games because their side content's usually kind of but combat's so good. I just love the characters, the art style. Like, they just hit a home run for me. This is more than I ever expected. So they've done a great job with that. I'm going to continue to play that, chip away at that. But the mistake I made.
What you do? So,
business decisions. I'll give the audience, you guys, of course, you know how this goes, but the audience will give them a little inside baseball, right? So here I am pounding away my emails all month, and I'm going to be transparent. I've beaten the fucking door down on Square Enix. I'm like, I want to review Final Fantasy Tactics, and I know Addict was trying to do the same thing. It kind of put me on. I was like, okay, he's looking. I should probably start looking. So I'm pretty heavy in their inbox. I'm hitting every contact imaginable. as the games industry goes, no responses or, hey, I forwarded you and then no response. Like, it's, to be frank, bullshit, and I hate it. But I'm not entitled to anything, so I'll live. So I'm like, okay, what do I want to do for Final Fantasy Tactics? Do I want to fire this up or not? In comes Bandai. Get an email from them, and it's a good way to catch my attention. They're like, hey, Matt, we got a review code for you. Do you want it? And I'm like, whoa, that's rare, because normally it's like, I have to come to you. And I did not have Digimon Story Time Stranger on my schedule. I was like, I think this is one I'll get to eventually, because I still got to play Cyber Sleuth, Hacker's Memory. But they come to me, and it was kind of in a moment where obviously the opportunity presented itself. And I was like, all right, let's think about this for a moment. I was like, I've been wondering about Digimon. I've been like a fringe fan since I was a kid. I don't like where Pokemon's going in a lot of ways, and how like adults have completely fucking ruined that hobby. So it's like, I mean, dude, have you guys seen the card prices? Oh. It's fucking unbelievable. Course, it's unbelievable. It's not children either.
Pokemon isn't for kids anymore.
It was more grown men in the cafe.
I'm sure. And I bet I'm sure they were ripping all the product off the shelves, bro. It's sad.
It's all millennials like my age. Yeah. It's all people in their 30s. Yeah.
I have deep Pokemon nostalgia, but bro, it's fucking sad. It's really sad. So I look at Digimon as sort of this glimmer of hope. Like, hey, dude, I do love a little Pokemon in my life, but I'm not crazy about how the business doesn't take a lot of risks and really, I think, preys upon its artificial scarcity, that no doubt they can afford to like print more games or print more cards, that sort of thing. So I'm like, you know what? I've been curious about this for a while. They're giving me like a few days early access. Let me just give this a whirl. Okay, I'm in. I've been enjoying this a lot, man. Like, if you're looking for a Pokemon alternative with a lot more maturity and risk taking, like, I think you'll find a little home here with Digimon Story Time Stranger. So first off, the music has the aura. Like, I gotta just be upfront about that, bro. Like, very atmospheric, very moody. And if anyone's looked at Digimon Survive, this shouldn't be too surprising, because Digimon Survive, I think it's rated M if I remember correctly, but that was like a visual novel with tactical combat, and it had like choice and consequence, and like people would die. Like, it was really fucking dark. Digimon Story Time Stranger is about a post-apocalyptic event that happens, and then you kind of like a Final Fantasy 13 too, like you can go back in time to that same area and kind of flip between the two, and kind of see the before and after of these situations, and each pocket of time has its own set of knowledge. Like, some characters know you in certain parts of the time period while others don't, and vice versa. So it's a really cool setup of like a world-ending scenario. But it's also like a Pokemon game. So you're going to go around, you're going to fight these creatures. And when you fight these creatures, it's not like a Pokemon game where, you know, you throw out the Pokeball and you catch them after they're weakened. Like, this game is just like, beat the fuck out of everything. As you do, you scan them. So just beat them a number of times. And once that scan is at 100%, you can just convert them from data that you've scanned into a digital monster that's in your party. And it's fucking awesome, dude. So just by playing the game, you're getting all the monsters, and they're with you, and they're gaining experience, and you're evolving them. There's so many meta games within it. Like, you get this thing called a Digifarm that you can bring all these extra Digimon to. You can feed them. You can give them activities. Best way to describe it is like the Chow Garden, but for Digimon. It's really cool. So they've got all that going on. The turn-based combat's pretty rock solid, dude. Like, the presentation's very reminiscent of Persona 5. They have like a lot of camera movement, a lot of like, you know, when it's switching targets, the way it moves, and the production values for at least the monster attacks are really good. They put a lot of effort into that. I think they could smell the blood in the water a little bit. Like, hey, if we push this part of our game, this will be good for the Pokemon fans who are kind of on the outs. And so, yeah, that looks really good compared to the competition, but also individually speaking. But it's just got a good spirit to it. It's like post-apocalyptic, but it's a little cozy. And I just have been enjoying the monster collecting, the evolving, the little management sims in it all. The turn-based combat has been solid. Like, there's just a lot I like about it. And I went from kind of on the edge to like, you know what? Why not? Like, fuck it, man. I'm here. Why not? Why not go for it? So, sorry, Square Enix. I'm a Digimon guy now. But in all seriousness, yeah, like I just kind of want to get into the franchise a little bit more. I just had to let go of that part of me. Is like, I got to do it in order, because this kind of stands alone on its own. So I'm just like, let me go for it. And I'm glad I did, because while the environments look a little ass in some areas, like, for such a cool time traveling game, like, one of the first main dungeons of the game is a fucking sewer. And I'm like, really? Like, and it's like the JRPG sewer, like just plain walls,
Rats.
tunnels, rats, ground, and some water. And I'm like, damn, dude, like for such an imaginative, futuristic society in Shinjuku, it's like, why the fuck am I in the sewers, man? So it doesn't open strong environmentally, but the characters look good. The monsters look good. The animations look good. So I think they did a good job. I mean, I'm 10 hours in and I've been kind of hooked to it. I'm like, yeah, dude, these games, like, I think I just needed a refresh on the mechanical side of these monster catching games. And so Digimon's got me. It's got me. How am I going to balance all of this? I don't know what the fuck to tell you all, but I'm going to do my best. I'm here for the long ride, man. I've accepted that it's going to be like by December, I'm going to be finishing like 18 games at once. That's what's going to happen. Because next I know it, here's Ninja Gaiden 4, Outer Worlds 2. So, yeah, I haven't been nearly as picky as I should have been in September. But, dude, I'm going to be real. It's been a good fucking month. It's been a real, and there is nothing I missed for me. It's been a really good month. I know that because my decision making has been awful. It's been awful. But yeah, that's what I've been playing, gents. Anything else, or should we begin with the main news of the show?
I think we're good.
All right. Here we go. Xbox Game Pass price increase. Let's give everyone the 411 on what's going on here. Now, first, how it was framed. This is the best part, I think. Okay, so what do? They posted Xbox Wire post, which I think is a little bit more forward, but their trailers are labeled what's new and what's changing with Xbox Game Pass, and then Xbox Game Pass gives you more. So what they've tried to do is put this into a positive, right? They've tried to say, we're giving you more, and that's why the price is going up. This is very different from last year's business update, where it's like, we're changing things and kind of taking the egg on the face. They're trying to make this a positive for them. Now, what they have done is they have changed the 3 tiers of Game Pass once more. So originally you had Xbox Game Pass Core, which was your $10 value. You had Xbox Game Pass Standard, which was like your $15 value. And then you had Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Now, they've changed the names once more. So now it's Game Pass Ultimate still. Then Standard has been changed into Premium, and Core has been changed into Essential. Now, Game Pass Essential, we'll talk a little bit less about because it's basically the same value as Core. Like the price tag is the same. It's 50 games. It gives you online multiplayer. We can talk about that a bit, but it is kind of the least problematic of it all. Where it gets fishy, and I'll save my thoughts on the more in-depth comparisons a little bit, is when you get to Premium, 200 games, any Xbox published games that they've done within a year outside of Call of Duty arrive to this part of the service. So if Fallout came out next month, you wouldn't get that in your premium subscription service until November of next year. That's how it works. Otherwise, unlimited cloud gaming benefits with shorter wait times. Obviously, the shortest wait times go to Game Pass Ultimate. And then they've also very publicly rolled their Microsoft Rewards program into Xbox Game Pass. So no longer were these two separate things that you were doing where OG Dukes know Microsoft Rewards was a fucking hack, bro. And it was awesome. It was a whole separate program. You went in there, turn on your quests. Here's your daily quests, your weekly quests, your monthly quests, challenges that would rotate, do these Bing surveys, whatever the fuck they wanted you to do, bro. You'd rack up these points and you'd buy your subscription service with it. You'd eventually be able to afford games with it. It rewarded you for investing in the ecosystem. That's been capped. So that's one of the bigger changes here. Now you earn up to $100 a year in rewards if you're at Ultimate. If you're at Premium, you get $50 a year, and essentially you get $25 a year. So they've capped that off, rolled that program in. They've made it significantly worse. The price changes are the biggest part, though. Game Pass Ultimate has jumped 50%. It's no longer in the $20 range. It is a $30 a month subscription service. Premium is $14.99. Essential is $9.99. All the value, as you would expect, is packed into Ultimate. What they have added to justify this: Fortnite Crew, which adds a battle pass for every Fortnite season and 1,000 V-Bucks. They've also added Ubisoft Plus Classics. Now, I've seen some people get this mistake. to be clear, this is Ubisoft Plus Classics, not Premium. Premium is the one that is the day one Ubisoft stuff, where like if you're subscribed to that, Ubisoft says like, okay, you're subscribed here. Assassin's Creed Shadows is your day one, earlier this year. This is Classics. This is what PlayStation Plus, the highest level, has in its service as well. So Xbox got a bunch of back catalog Assassin's Creed games. If you were to draw another comparable, think how EA Play currently functions. Eventually, these games from Ubisoft will enter the service, their newer ones, but it's whenever it enters that Ubisoft Plus Classics lineup, just like with EA Play. Eventually, the EA Play stuff enters Game Pass, right? So same deal here, which can add some value. It's up to you, though, if it's $30 a month worthwhile. Day one Game Pass games remain in the Ultimate tier. 1440p cloud streaming is here as well, which was an upgrade that was announced a week or two ago, I want to say. Yeah. But it's looking good. Cloud streaming has been doing really well, and they've ripped the beta label off of cloud streaming. So it's an official product now. Like, it is a thing, and they have immediately monetized it. Okay. That's the rundown basically on what's happening here with Game Pass. PC Game Pass also saw a jump. It's going from $11 to $16 a month. Almost forgot to throw that one in there. Mm-hmm. So those are all of your price hikes. Oh, man. I've talked a lot. I've opened up a lot of the segments this show. So, Cog, I want to kick it to you. I want to hear from you, like how you're feeling about Xbox, the price jump. This is on the back of course, 2 console price hikes. They tried $80 games a few months ago as well. So I'd just love to hear from you. How are you feeling about this move from Xbox, Game Pass Ultimate, $30 a month? Is it worth it?
Yeah, man, we went live when the news broke. Yeah. Right on ILP, full house here. So let's get to the tiers. So obviously the name changes almost mirror PlayStation's in a sense. Was it Essential and Premium, and except for Ultimate as far as the naming conventions. Let's start with the thing that I think probably is the only few positive things I could say, which is the actual lower tiers. So from the lower tier perspective, I feel that Essential and Premium, they're now giving you the PC, console, and cloud experience, right? Because prior to that, you couldn't get the cloud streaming, you couldn't get the PC game kind of like version of Game Pass and be able to play there. So in that respect, I'm like, okay, you've made the lower price of entry synergistic with this is an Xbox thing, because if I play on any device and I have the lower tier, I can still access most of the games, minus not day one Game Pass games, right? Minus that. And then the other aspect is, the PC Game Pass part. So they got the jump, right, from I think it was 11 to like whatever, $16 or something like that. They got that, but they still kept day one games, right? So I'm like, okay, that's not too bad from an incremental standpoint. When you look at subscription service, you're like, okay, you go up $1, a couple dollars here, fine. The issue is going to be 50% price increase on Ultimate. That is a lot. $30 a month, that is a lot. That's a tough pill to swallow. So for some, depending on your game usage, right? Like, for example, me, I'm the rare guy that's going to buy like 8 to 9 of games from their ecosystems normally. But I don't represent the majority of gamers. The majority of gamers generally only buy maybe 1 or 2 titles, right? So what this tells me is, one, remember I told you, I've always going to die on this hill. I thought Game Pass would have been dead at the business update. And I believe, Brad, you were on that show. I think we did the business update with the
sure was.
Probably. There's bad news on there.
Brad continues. But during that show, if y'all remember, I expected the Game Pass model to die. It is not working. The math is not mathing. They have to recoup. So what this tells me is, yes, we're going to give you extra value. I mean, I personally do not care about Fortnite Crew or whatever it is. But yes, it's like $15 a month. Yeah, I guess that's great value for those who are interested in it. Ubisoft Plus, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to say no to you giving me Assassin's Creed games and classic games like that, of course. Yeah. Cloud coming out of beta. Okay, cool. I get 1440p. I've played Cloud lately. It's way more improved. Okay, great. You're not GeForce Now, but okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? At least you are better. the tough pill to swallow is that those who remain in this ecosystem are being extrapolated for more money consistently. So what it's telling me is in order for you to exist, you have to drain more money out of me. That's what this is telling me. And I'm like, okay, but what I don't like is that, again, I'm a console guy. I'm a guy that loves this ecosystem. Every action you've done in the last year with this year with the 2 price increases and the console price increases, and now this Game Pass ultimately this Game Pass subscription increase shows me that you don't really care if you're getting new users. You're not tantalizing new users to say, yo, pay for a $700 Xbox, pay for a $400 Series S. Get down, bro. This is the ecosystem to be at. What this tells me is we are no longer gaining subscribers. We have probably plateaued, right? We are going to be everywhere. So we're going to maximize, kind of do the things that they said that they wouldn't do. That they said they didn't want to make the current base and just charge them more money, so to speak, right? Yeah. That's what you're doing, right? So you just happen to have a console still existing while being the biggest publisher. And this is going to be a no-no. Listen, we already talked earlier. Mario 64 put it out. The Game Pass cancellation site crashed. Bro, that lets you know this ain't going well, right? Yeah. So the thing I have to give Matty credit is he's talking to me behind the scenes, and then you watch the video, and we watched the video live on stream together with our audience, and it had a hot beat. The woman came out. She's telling you about you get more.
We've been listening.
Bro, we've been listening. We heard you. So you're framing this like this is the most positive, dope thing. And then not one part of the advertisement did it say, yeah, and by the way, the price went up 50%, y'all. Let's go.
Yeah.
Not one part of that said that.
It's fucked up, bro.
So, it's just, bro, this is the sad reality of what I feel is, one, I'm not going to use the excuse of, this is just what they need to do to exist. This is, I'm going to gouge this base that probably is growing up bleeding numbers, and we don't really care anymore about if you buy our hardware in our ecosystem as long as you, and this is the last point. This tells me that the experiment truly is going wrong because remember, the Call of Duty games are not in them lower tiers.
Nope.
The Call of Duty. So what that tells me, remember the discussion with the ABK deal was this. Is it beneficial to put Call of Duty in the service by not getting the $70 retail? This tells me like, yo, they not doing it. So if they want to unsubscribe to Game Pass, so what? They gonna buy it for $70 if they in the ecosystem. We rather take that money. We don't care now if you unsubscribe now, so to speak, because we rather if you're in our ecosystem pay. And it's just exasperating at this point. So, look, vote with your wallet. For the majority of people, not me, this is not gonna go well. The only reason why I still am here is because South of Midnight I was going to buy, Avowed I was going to buy, Doom: The Dark Ages I was going to buy. And then look what the end of the year sets up. All those games, if I didn't have Ninja Gaiden 4, Call of Duty, Outer Worlds 2, if I didn't have the service, all those games are bought. So I've already exceeded my $360 for the year thing, right?
Yeah.
That's not the majority of gamers. The majority of gamers are not like me. I have to be honest about that. And it's just like, you're just ostracizing those guys, And then you can't buy the thing in a year for like a discounted price. You notice that?
Yeah.
You can't get this for the long. And it's just like, it just shows me at the end of the day, this is the brand now. Unfortunately, it's transformed into the Satya, the Eye of Sauron. We got to get the most money out of these guys, and this is what it is. So, yeah, I feel for him because I saw the community's reaction, bro.
It's not good.
There are so many cancellations right now. There are so many people saying this is the 50% increase.
Yeah,
I don't know if any others. Let's just think about it before I pass it to you, Brad. Sorry for going long. It's just that
you're good.
I can't think of another subscription service that costs that much.
No. I can't think so either.
Peloton gets close.
Yeah, like Netflix. Who's $30?
Yeah, I don't know, for a month for something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
PlayStation's expensive, but not that expensive yet.
Not that expensive. Yeah, my only hope is that it's a Games with Gold moment, and the backlash is so bad that we get the Curse of the Dukes, and a day later we get the retraction.
We'll take it.
That's the only thing I hope, because this is not going. Yeah. Go ahead, man.
Do you think they would do that quickly?
I will say I've never seen a reaction like this. I've been checking socials all during this pod. Bro, I'm seeing the die-hardest of die-hard. I'm seeing the Jez Cordons. I'm seeing I'm out. Then people we're not even talking about the Australians, the Canadians, who got to deal with the exorbitant prices on top of American prices and the conversion rate. Many people are like, dude, I'm not doing this. I'm out.
Yeah. This is like the second great exodus, though. I think the first one was like the third-party kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. This fucking
Brad, let's
sucks.
hear from you. Come on.
That's all I gotta say.
Come on.
It's all your fault, Brad.
It is. Hey, it's Phil's fault. He's got to watch the books, dude. He's letting me get away with murder, right? So I saw all of this, and I was like, okay, well, let me look at what actually affects me. So I looked at PC Game Pass right away, which was $12 a month, which, first of all, I've already talked about this before, but I can't believe, like, they treat console players like second-class citizens in that thing. Like, you're paying $20 a month, but I can do it on PC for $8 less a month. And it's just like, how is this even happening? I don't understand.
You the hot chick we try to court right now.
Well, look what happens when they do. I get refunds every time. I'm going to really curious to see if they cut that out. I'll try again. I'll report back sometime in the future.
I'll report back on my hustle in a minute.
Yeah, I'll report back. But
you have a couple games to try it out with this month, bro. Like, I
was calculating it. I was like, okay, well, if I get it this year, I'm going to do it like in November when Call of Duty's out and Outer Worlds 2 is out, because I would like to play those. Ninja Gaiden I'm going to buy. But those two games, I was like, all right, I would like to rent those two games because the boys will want to play Call of Duty. Sure, whatever. I might as well finish Outer Worlds 2 while I'm at it. So I'll check it out there. But $30 fucking a month for like this is like their main thing, you know. This is like what separates them from the competitors and like best value in gaming. Like they have that, wear it as like a badge of honor all the time and stuff. And it's just like, what you're giving me here, it's like, I personally don't give a shit about any of this stuff you're adding here. I don't care about any of this.
Yep.
Fortnite, like old Assassin's Creed games, like you can get those for dirt cheap all the time anyways. It's like, wow, thanks for Assassin's Creed 3, I guess. I could probably get for like $10 maybe if I wanted. But I don't know, man. I'm not in that ecosystem, but to me, it's just like further driving me away from an Xbox console, period. Like I have a Series X, but I just don't have a reason to play it really when I have a PC. But I don't know, man. It's not good. This is not good news at all for anybody. Yeah. And I did watch that video of them hyping up these new tiers and shit. And
can we talk about how fucking soft it is that they threw some random spokesperson in to announce that shit? I've never seen that woman before. We've watched everything Xbox for the last like 5 years. And there's no disrespect to her, by the way. She's doing her job.
Yeah.
But we know why she was thrown out there. Because we know,
like wolves.
We know certain leaders within certain organizations have no guts to step out and announce this news because they know it fucking sucks and they've taken enough hits already. That's where we're at now. It's self-preservation mode.
Yeah. I'm just like, dude, how many more hits is this brand gonna have to take for this like coming year? Like, are we gonna get more stuff like this within 6 months? It's just like feels like nonstop almost with them. Yeah. And they're not the only ones that get bad console news, I just want to say, but like it just feels like it's been rough. Rough past couple months with this company. Nonstop hits. Because what was it, last week, Maddie, we talked about prices going up on consoles prices, and it's just like, damn, can't even go a week when I'm cursing at them every week. It's just like,
what's going to happen next week? We're going to have to bring you back.
No, I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude, I think for me, the thing that as I would say more as it from an analyst point of view, that's deeply frustrating is you watch how Xbox carved a corner for itself by being competitive, by creating services that were competitive, that even in the face of going multi-platform, you had people defending you, dying out in the Twitter streets for you because of Game Pass. This was the differentiator. This was the defining factor. This was the key difference maker in it all. In fact, to the point where next generation, the reason people had faith is at least you have Game Pass. Now, I don't think anybody's a fool in that we're looking at the subscription service, prices eventually go up. Now, last we saw the price jump, it was like $17. And then going from that last year to $30 this year. I mean, what you've effectively done are two things. It sends my brain into a spiral because I'm like, where the fuck do I even begin? Okay, first thing, your tiers make no sense anymore. Not from a naming perspective, by the way. So I see this whole research data ass tier in Ultimate now, where it's like, Fortnite's the poppin' game. People love Ubisoft open world games. Those drive engagement. So let's throw those into the Ultimate tier. What dude playing Fortnite and grinding Fortnite to the point where they want 1,000 V-Bucks every month and a battle pass covered every month? What dude is going to be signing up for $30 a month and playing all the other games you have? The audience you're targeting does not game on that level to be spending $30 a month. It defeats itself. It's unlike PC Game Pass, where when the price was in the $10 threshold and they went, hey, Riot, we want to unlock all your champions in League of Legends and Valorant as part of our subscription service. They're like, sure, pay up. And they did. And the subscription price stayed the same. And PC Game Pass, I subscribed to it because I played a lot of Riot games. I played Valorant. I played a fuck ton of League of Legends. I was like, hell yeah, this is the true perk of Game Pass in a weird way. You defeat the whole point of that right then and there. And what's funny is that I see no observation to your direct competition, which, by the way, when first announced PS Plus with the Essential tier and the Extra tier and the Premium tier, had no chance in hell. Not because it was awful, but because your service was so good, to the point where even when you price hiked the first time, people still said, yeah, sucks, but inevitable and still best service in gaming. You have made them competitive by your own moves. Not even anything they did, which, by the way, to be fair, like for me, at least I can say the Classics catalog brought me in a little bit more. They've really continued to add to that catalog. And we'll talk about, we're going to measure sizes here. Don't worry. But look, when you look at your competition and you're like, we're going to $30 and we're adding Ubisoft Plus Classics. Guess who has Ubisoft Plus Classics in their 400 plus game library and is charging me $17 a month? It's PlayStation. It's your direct competitor, guys. What the fuck are we doing? So you think about it a little bit deeper. It's day one Game Pass games, of course. We look at it, that's why we're being charged this much. Of course, that comes down to each purchaser. We can get into that. But at a certain point, I also think, you know, how much gaming are people doing nowadays, where I talked about earlier, the choice has become remarkably easy to be like, oh, wait, you know, like there's so much. We just talked about the month of September. There's so much shit coming out, dude. So much shit coming out. It's so easy to be like, I can wait for your games. People can wait for anything. Do not test the gamer on that, dude. They will wait to the ends of the earth the second you give them a little glimmer of like, I can wait for that. I'll do that. There's a bunch of things I can fill my time with. So I just look at this and I'm like, I don't think this is competitive anymore. Yeah, day one Game Pass games matter, sure. But the trade-off, basically what I got from Xbox outside of what COG perfectly put, which is like, okay, we're bleeding this fan base dry, is simply like, you either going to pay $80 for everything moving forward, or you're paying $30 a month for this. Now you've axed one of the key competitive advantages you had in the market. When you roll that into, we've made our consoles more expensive. By the way, some people are like trying to defend like, oh, well, this is old shit. Your new shit, that ROG Ally, $1,000. So that shit's expensive. Again, you tried to jack up to $80. Now this, you have not welcomed anyone in. The fact that you're going to try to be around for another generation, I can scarcely believe at this point. It's almost impossible to imagine. Just because I'm like, who the fuck will want to buy your shit? I can't imagine wanting to buy it because you've made it so expensive to get in. And I get it. You want your money now, but by wanting your money now, you have lost every conceivable advantage you had And it's all because of your choices. You chose to do all of this. And I don't give a fuck who to blame. Satya all the way down to Phil. I don't care who I'm blaming at this point. You have chosen to literally eradicate the value of this brand. You want to see how important you are to the market. I'm sure people will speak with their wallets. We'll see how well The Outer Worlds 2 sells. Hell, Ninja Gaiden 4, as much as I'll be there championing that one. We'll see how that goes, dude. This is ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. Nobody, and we do this as a living, games enough to be like $30 a month. Easy. I cannot sit here and be like, that's a reasonable price tag, even for the most hardcore of gamers, because let's go back in time. Join me for a second. Let's go back to Blockbuster, right? Why was Blockbuster valuable? Because I couldn't own my shit, but I could go to Blockbuster and be like, I want to rent that shit. You'd pay, I think it was $8 for a 1 week rental, or you'd go $14 for the 2 week rental. If it was a big game, you went for the 2 week rental and you'd like crunch the game in that period of time. Why was that valuable to us? Because we couldn't own it and the price was affordable, right? But that's the key there. You couldn't own it, but the price balances it out. Now with Game Pass, it was in a similar relationship. Okay, I don't get to own these, but for the value you're providing me, the handshake we're doing here, I can trade off the ownership because I'm getting access to my games for cheaper. Now we're talking $30 a month. And if you're a multi-platform player, by the way, like you're on PC and Xbox, or you're a PlayStation, Xbox, like whatever the fuck it is, like this, I think this immediately becomes out of the question, right? Like I just think immediately if you're buying another game that month, like out of the question. But when you bring it to $30 a month now, and I don't get to own these, which I get, by the way, that's not what Game Pass has ever marketed to me, that you should own these games. But now I'm paying that much per month and I don't get to have these games. Like you've lost the idea of what is valuable. And who is left to pay for this? The whales. Let's go back to the 76 example. Who were the people who kept that service, that game afloat with its subscription service, Atomic Shop, Battle Pass? It was the small demographic. While everyone was on the outside, like, who the fuck? What? How are you guys still doing free content? Somebody paid for it. The same shit's happening with Xbox. However, because they have damaged their brand so badly, I don't see a world where like a ton of people are going to stick around. Do they lose all 30 million immediately? I doubt it, but like I think they're going to shed a lot of subscribers immediately, because you had people like me who were like, hey, you know what? On a certain level, like you've gone too far with the layoffs and I can buy your games, but I can't support you month to month with my money. So you've already shedded people like that. You've made a bunch of business moves. You got Microsoft going full AI. It's become so many mounting reasons before this to not support them. And again, you go back to what they're adding for value here, and it contradicts the whole fucking thing. You're targeting Fortnite players for $30 a month. They're like, by the way, it's $12 in value. Fuck off. It's terrible. You know, the premium tier is the most valuable now. But guess what? PlayStation offers the same exact thing, but with over double the library. So I looked it up. Xbox has a 200 plus game library they're promising you for your premium tier, right? It's like, okay, not bad. Yeah. You go over to PlayStation, they have 160 classics. The number, by the way, is a bit obfuscated because some sites like Push Square is like 655 total games in PS Plus. I looked at the total number, I saw 614. IGN had a 481. I'm like, what the fuck is this range?
Yeah.
I look it up. The PS Plus classics are included. I do the math on them by counting them all. 160. I'm like, okay, so we take the highest number here from Push Square, we subtract it. We take the lowest number from IGN, we subtract it. You have anywhere from a number of 321 games to 495. So anyway you slice it now, the middle tier for PlayStation Plus has now beat out Game Pass. Unless you really value, well, I can stream my own games, but PlayStation Plus does that as well. And it does it really well. I was using my portal last night. So there's that, or the Microsoft rewards. So again, this is where I get frustrated. It's really less about the ultimate tier. It's more about like, this is bad business for yourself, dude. You've made your direct competition the more appealing option by behaving. By just existing and being like, all right, we're going to make these changes. Nice. They're better than us. Ship it. What? Who the fuck does that? Rant over, man. Like, I do think this is ridiculous. But I also don't know if they're going to double back on this one. It took them a lot to double back on $80 games. And again, you got to remember where we started with this. It did start with that $80 game pushback. No, we're not paying for that. They're like, all right, here's the optional one then. And I think this sticks. At the best, I think we get a couple of dollars off and they keep it in the high 20s. I think just like with Outer Worlds 2, where they're like, well, we're going down to 70. They'll be like, go down to 60. And if they go down to 27, they'll be like, go back down to 22. Like, it's not going to stop there. So I think Xbox probably knows that as well. And this is the new premium era of Xbox. It's expensive to be here. So sorry, boys. I didn't mean to go on for
it was good
for a while. But yeah, dude, I think even if you exclude the economy right now, everything from the name changes to the prices to the poor messaging, I think even if you were balling out, what Xbox is doing is just unacceptable because it just is so fucking inconsistent. You gotta have, as we've said so many times on this show, you've got to be able to trust the company to some extent, not with my whole goddamn life, but can I trust that you can decide a name for your tier and keep it so I know what I'm spending my money on? Can I trust that you'll keep the value of something? No, clearly not. I think Xbox has alienated a lot of new consumers with the last year and change. And it's, I think, Brad, you said it earlier, very clear that they're on the road to that third party, man. They do not, I think Cog, you said it too, they do not care.
I'm just waiting for you to get there. Like no disrespect. I'm like, why are you talking about competing? Like, they have shown they are not trying to compete. Like, I've seen it. So it's just like, I'm not trying to, be disrespectful to you. Yeah, just like, bro, like, I've seen this show before. Like, they are not trying to look at what Nintendo's doing and play, yo, we in the mix with you. You did that, we did this. Like, they don't care about that anymore. Yeah. This is strictly, we have to figure out to get the most amount of money. And we don't care. Like, it's to the point, like, we don't care if we piss you off. If it's like, leave. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if it's almost a dare in a way, right? So the way I look at it is that the value that they look at is with this whole situation is if you leave, you still going to go play our games over on PlayStation, Nintendo Switch. If you leave, you still, going to buy the game retail, which ultimately they probably still want anyway, because the experiment has shown that it is not working. So this is like the ultimate consolation. Yeah, you still want to keep this? Oh, you're going to pay. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it's right. I know what you're saying. I want to be clear. Yeah. I don't want to sit here and be like, yeah, corporation, right. Get me for more money. No, that's not what this is. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is it is by their actions. When you raise a console twice in the year, and I get it, tariffs, I get it, economic climate, that's affected everything. This is bigger than video game. I get it. I'm just talking about selfishly as a person who loves this ecosystem. It saddens me that even though I'm in it and I'm grandfathered and I got the console at the good price early and I got the Game Pass at the good price early, no new person is coming in and saying, yeah, Xbox, I'm in. I'm down. I'm getting me a console now. No one's doing that. So what it showed me is you've given up on that. And you are on your way to be a publisher who just happens to have a console in the ecosystem. But if you want to be in this ecosystem that we keep it alive and keep it alive for you, oh, you're going to pay. You're going to pay. And that's the sad So, again, as a Sega kid who was, the system went away, I mean, this is their, kind of like, I don't say consolation prize. Oh, you want it? This is what you're going to do to keep it alive, kind of thing. You're going to pay for it to keep it alive, kind of thing. And it is sad. It is sad. And it just hurts to see to your point, Maddie, the brand completely change its identity from what we've known and loved it for to this new thing that just is very unfamiliar. It's very like, what's going on? Kind of thing.
One thing that's clear is the growth phase is over, right?
Oh,
yeah. Been over, but like, we could put that in ink.
Yeah. That's a wrap. That's like I said, business update. That's what I was like. Yeah, this is get ready. Get ready. Things have changed significantly. And here
does this open up concerns for you guys for like the next Xbox or anything like that?
I think for me, it's more of this, everything to me, I look at, but when I go back to the Rogue Alley, this is an experiment. What I look at is next generation, we're going to get a console. It's clear as they still, I hope so at this point, but all signs point to this is their transition phase to the multi-storefront approach, right? And let's see how the numbers work when we have Steam, Epic, you know what I mean, GOG, and then our thing. And then we're just this place where you could come and you can, play whatever you want. And that may have an appeal to it, right? But to your point, Brad, I worry about the non-subsidized version of a console. They don't look like there's no more subsidization anymore. So now you're talking about $1,000 consoles, $800. All this does is sadden me. This is one last thing I'll say. Now that I've been in Japan, it is clear as day Nintendo runs everything out here.
Oh yeah.
Like it is so dominant, and I look at why the games the game budgets are inexpensive compared to the big two. As far as PlayStation and Xbox, smaller games, things are more efficient. Everything is so like. Then I go to the arcades, which are gone, and it's all gotcha machines. When I'm on the train riding from Shinjuku to Haneda, all these places, everyone is doing this. Mm-hmm. Or they have a Switch.
There was a time that used to be a PS Vita, damn it.
Bro, it's sad. I'm looking at my console era slowly, and again, I'm not saying it's dead. PlayStation's doing well. Switch is doing well, right? But what I'm saying is I don't see that growth the way it looks like I'm the dinosaur compared to everyone else. And I'm looking at my own mortality like, yo, people are not gaming like me anymore like that. And the games are expensive and we got all these things going on with the economic climate. So it's just like, I do see the shift. And it just seems like they are the first casualty of said shift and they're going to pivot. And this is how they feel they're going to survive.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, last point is just like to answer Brad's question, that I feel they make a console. I don't feel they subsidize it. I feel it's going to be a play everywhere thing, kind of thing. It will be a niche kind of enthusiast thing. I should say it will be as niche as an Ally because as long as they have Xbox dedicated console, which the Ally doesn't, games play, they will still have, I don't know, I'm just guessing, 15, 20 million people that are like, yeah, I want to continue. Because they still got 35 million people in the ecosystem that they just ain't going to just go away necessarily, right? So they may continue, but you're not growing that base, is what I'm saying. I don't see that device still saying, yo, we're getting that over a PlayStation. We're getting that over another mass market device. The days of them being mass market in the console space is over to me. I've always felt it. The days of them being competitive is kind of over to me. It's just, you're going to be the number one publisher with the biggest games. And that's how you're going to be able to sell them everywhere. And that's how you're going to survive. That's your metamorphosis. That's my prediction.
Yeah. To answer Brad's question, I think they do continue hardware, but I think the way we understand it is so dramatically different where I'd love to just sit down and talk to like Phil, Matt, and Sarah and just be like, to you, what is Xbox? Like sincerely, by the way, no fucking PR. Like this is like a shut door, no camera, no mic. What is Xbox now? Because to me, when I see your hardware prices jumping, I'm like, okay, you want to make money on these. Is that in preparation? Like Colin ran his brain over this topic a lot in one of his side quest videos. He was like, bringing Steam to Xbox doesn't make sense. It's like, does it make more sense now if you're making money on hardware? It's like, yeah, they might buy our hardware, and maybe some of our software through Steam, but like otherwise, we need to make money somehow if we're a primary gaming machine. But to Cog's point about them being competitive with PlayStation, like I see a world where they price themselves out of this next console wave because they're just going to be like, number one, they're not subsidizing. So I think that's game over there. And that'll be ugly because we saw what happened with the Xbox One and the PS4. But I don't get it. I'm like, why bother? Why bother?
Because it's 30 million they don't want to walk away from. Let's just say the number's 35 million. Yeah. That's the only reason. They're just placating it to, again, extrapolate the most money out of that base.
It just feels like they've been R&Ding this machine for a while where it's like, well, why would we fucking stop now? We're already like halfway there. Let's see what we get out of this one. We're done after it though. Like I sincerely, no fucking way I see them doing another generation after this. I mean, it's already hard to imagine some others doing another generation after this, like a PlayStation, even, as we've heard many times before. But with Xbox, I'm like, you know, it's just our understanding of it's going to be so different. Like I totally see them coming out with a high level machine that functions more like a PC, and I wouldn't even say is presented like a console. Like, here's your features on your dashboard. Like, I just don't see it like that. And
there you go. He's getting it now. He's coming in.
Don't talk to me like that.
You were console warring, and I'm like, I get you. It's old habit. You know, they die hard, and you want them. You love them.
No, because my point is that even if they are not one-on-one competing with PlayStation, they still have a service that people look to. Like, you have to acknowledge them on like a competitor's list. Like, Epic Games, PlayStation, Apple Arcade, even, like, throw them all on the fucking list, right? It's like, how do we size up against all of these? And I do think PS Plus is the natural comparison right now. You could throw Switch Online in there. Switch Online is balling out. $20, what is it? $25 a year, some shit like that. Brad, dude,
it's like 50 or 60, I think, for the entire year.
So one game for the year, and you get. Well, I mean, look, as much as I don't like that they got rid of the virtual console and stuff, so you get a lot of classics in there. You get to like double the size of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. A lot of their DLC comes packed in there, so it's like. Yeah. I just don't see them assessing any broader competition. It's very much like I make fun of it the same way I make fun of Ubisoft Plus, right? I'm like, I guess someone's buying these things, but I look at it like, who the? I like some Ubisoft games, but like, who to buy this? Who? That much money? And these games are huge, by the way, so you're on the hook for a long while. So that's where I'm at with it. But yeah, like the thing I'm anticipating next, if we're talking like future far-flung anticipations, bro, they're going to get pinched because we know PlayStation's coming with some type of handheld. Xbox is coming with some type of handheld. We know it's a wrap. I'm sorry. Like, it's a wrap. Like, PlayStation, I don't care what the fucking price point is. Just that built-in consumer trust is there. And unless Xbox's handheld is like creme de la creme, great price tag, insane. Again, the PS4 situation, insane feature set, everything I want, perfect response to market conditions, which they've shown me no signs of thinking that's what it's going to be. I think they're getting pinched there. And then you hear rumors of Valve charging to the living rooms with a sort of PC hybrid box. There goes the strategy that COG, like last year, you and I were talking when we were trying to make sense of the multi-platform push, and we came up with this idea. And I'm like, well, if it's like that, I'm kind of in. That's a unique business strategy. But if here comes my 400 game library from Valve on a box that's more affordable, if the Steam Deck was anything to go by, they'll make my handhelds affordable. So will they make my console thing affordable? If they storm into my living room with something competitive, I mean, the best thing Xbox has is built-in brand recognition. Like, they've been known as a gaming machine for a while. Not that Valve doesn't, but is Valve known on the level where if I saw Valve or Steam and that logo in a Best Buy, are people going out and grabbing that? Or are they looking at it a little, like, I'm talking like 10% more niche? You got to wonder about that. Does Xbox have at least that up on them? But that's what I worry about in the future. Is like, they'll probably commit to the bit, but bro, I think they get pinched. Like, I think they don't have that unique shtick that justifies the price tag, but we'll see. It's a lot of guesswork right now, but I think for most of us right now, kind of in this resting place, it's very tough to have faith or confidence in the brand in the terms of just like moving forward. You know, can we trust this decision? Will this stay? Or are we just like, it feels like a bad relationship. It's like, I'm just on the ride until the next fight. I should probably get out of this, man. It's getting a little toxic for me.
Feel abusive to abusive.
Yeah, you know, like when
she
there's
keep lying, she keep cheating.
Commitment's an important part of any relationship, no? And it's like, if you're not committing,
she told you she's for the streets.
She told you she likes to swing.
Yeah, she told you. She's like, look, I'm gonna be over there at PlayStation's house. I'm gonna be over at Nintendo's house soon.
The other thing,
games,
sorry, I just want to throw out there. The other thing I thought of when I saw this price jump. Is there a world where this is setting up for the... I feel they would have announced it with this, but is Game Pass going to end up on other platforms? If Xbox is going...
Oh, I think they probably would have want to been on other platforms for a while.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about that now. I'm like, does this soften the blow if you have that context beyond the Xbox ecosystem? Because right now it's like, this is your competitive advantage. But if Game Pass is everywhere. I mean, first off, I don't think PlayStation allows it because they're putting their own exclusives into game
people
catalog.
on their service.
Correct.
And that would be the biggest win.
Yeah.
I don't know if Switch does either at this
Nintendo
point.
wants no.
So then
Nintendo can give nobody nothing.
Yeah.
They never do.
Yeah, that's a wrap. So yeah, like I said, like I think, Maddie, for you, I get it, brother. I get it. It's just they've shown me they're a third party company, and they just happen to have a console. And as a person whose console has died multiple times before, I just say I am thankful that it still exists. But if anybody says, yo, bro, that's the last straw, that's it, you wildin'. You did a 50% increase on the greatest service that you had, your best competitive thing. And you know what? I'm done. Who am I to tell them they bugging out? Like, I get it. Like, this is going to break the back for a lot of people. I totally get it. And they just going to sit there and count their money.
Yeah.
When you go over there, you buy the game, or you go on PlayStation and buy the game. That's just where they at.
I just struggle to wrap my head around. I don't know their economics year to year. I wish I could. But it just feels like this is the right time to eat the cost. I get a lot of companies like, tariffs and fuck, everything's expensive. And it's easy for me to say, figure it out. But when you are Microsoft, you do have a particular level of figuring it the fuck out that other companies don't. And that figuring the fuck out is money, bro. You got a lot of truckloads of it. So in preserving the Xbox brand, I just feel this would have been a great time to be competitive and be like, hang with it. Don't let the competition run away with it. Because here's the thing is PlayStation eventually jumped, right? Like $50 increase to all their systems. Nintendo eventually jumped with everything Switch 1 related, right? Like it happens. But look at the noise in those departments versus Xbox and why it is. And your answer lies within all of that because it's how Xbox does it. It's how aggressively they do it, by the way. I think they fucking get off on it at this point. Like that was my take. I was talking to Laylee about it. I was like, she's like, why are they doing it like this? I was like, I seriously think like some sick fucks is like, fuck yeah, dude. Yeah. Let's fuck this shit up again. Yeah, like
let's do it again.
Yeah. Like
how bad can we make them this?
Yeah. Like I said, you know that meme? I was talking about this in my video. You know that video, that new meme going around of like the cop from Dexter who's in the car, just like he's kind of like cooking. You know, you see him like trying to solve the mystery. That was me, bro. I was like, is there a Splinter agent? Like, is there someone from Nintendo or PlayStation who's like, got a great idea. Everything is looking weak right now. Now's the time to push Game Pass. And I get it because probably after the Xbox One generation, Xbox probably has developed this mindset of like, there's never a right time to do it. Just go for it. But I do think this is one of those times where biting the bullet in general is always, nice for the consumer to have. But in this particular case where costs are high, I do think those who are keeping it cheap are being rewarded. Look at the games that are being purchased this year. Indie, AA. Come on now. One of them Xbox published. Oblivion Remastered. I think it's right there in front of them.
Yeah, it's a tough business. And I just think, like I said, we saw with the EA story, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's streamlining, it's AI, it's try to get the most profit out of it. And we have always said this, Maddie. The business of video games does not coincide with the creative and the artistry of video games. Yeah. It's just a marriage that doesn't really work. And I just see that's just the path they're on. They're so bullish about this. And the last thing I'll say, the signs were always there when we saw the Satya comments when we were in the FTC stuff. Why do we do consoles? Why do we do exclusives? Remember they would talk to Phil and them like, and Amy Hood, like, why are we doing this? Why can't we just put these games everywhere at the same time? Like, there's no competitive console sensibilities from the top level. They're just not. Microsoft is a corporation. It's about making money at the highest level. That's all they care about. Now, like I said, anytime you saw gaming sensibility or things or moves, I always told y'all, I know y'all don't like current leadership, but the ones that actually have some moves that we like, those are the few that's in the building and actually have those. But these guys have won out. It's over. Party's over. Tell the rest of the crew. They are now Microsoft Gaming is here, and it's been here for a while.
Yeah.
Damn. That's a heavy ass conversation.
That's a bar.
Yeah.
It's still fuck current leadership. All right. So the other thing I wanted to get into too is, I mean, this is within the same topic, but I got to ask the audience sincerely. And I'm not trying to be dramatic with this. I just want to ask the audience because it's really up to them on the value they find within it. Normally we wrap up our show with Game Pass Pick of the Week. I genuinely feel dedicating a segment to the subscription service at this point, not because of the price hike in the sense of like, we're protesting, but like part of the idea was most of you were subscribed, had access to the library, were engaged, and were looking for things to play week to week. That has radically changed now. I thought it was a fun little segment, and I would like to, I guess, keep it around, but I haven't been subscribed for a few months. I'm just curious. I want to hear from the audience without the emotionality. Just like, do you sincerely think this segment is valuable with the price changes accounted for? Because we like doing it. We've done it since the show first started. But I sincerely, like, it was the first thing I said in the LSM server. I was like, I don't know how the fuck I can keep doing this segment. Like, I was like, at this point, I'm like being insulting to our own audience. Like, hey guys,
who's left in the service to do it?
Yeah, like, hey guys, pick of the week. It's like, yeah, thanks, Matt. Game Pass pick of the week is Ninja Gaiden 4. It's like, oh, thanks, Matt. I'm gonna pay fucking $30 a month for that shit. Like, you know, probably worth it based on what we played. But
hell yeah.
You know, but my point being is that I understand the elephant in the room. Like, LSM is a company that's known for providing good value, low cost. We don't change that. I think it's kind of in contrast with one another. So if people find it to be weird, it's one of those things where I just want to hear from the audience if it's something you want to get rid of. But yeah, safe to say, if I'm protesting anything, we're not fucking doing it this week. Your Game Pass pick of the week is your subscription cancellation button, in my opinion. But it's up to you. It's up to you ultimately. Yeah, that's right. Start my rap career soon, bro. I got bars. All right. Gentlemen, any extra thoughts on this one? Shall we wrap it up?
Let Brad go.
I don't know, man. You guys know my thoughts on the Xbox brand, my disapproval of many things they've done. It's just fucked up, man. Give the fans a break, dude. Give them a win, for God's sakes. For pity's sakes, man.
Yeah.
They're bleeding out in the streets.
Sake.
You got like COG talking people like the war's over. Give up the fight, son. Put the gun down. It's over. Just hug your fellow man.
Yeah,
bro, they try to be everywhere, man. That's what I said. They try to get that bag, but
yeah,
I get it. Just another day in the life of an Xbox fan. It's what we do over here, Brad. It's what we do. Take the punches and we roll. You know what I'm saying? But like I said,
this show, it's so funny. It's just like so. It's such a bummer, man.
Yeah,
it is.
You diehard Xbox fans, I know you're going through it.
Yeah, and I want to shout out my boy Matt. I know I've been giving him some grief today, but look, I feel him, and the reality is, the majority of people feel the way Matty feels, and I recognize that. You know, I'm not stupid. I'm not ignorant. I'm not roll with the corporation. It's just an ecosystem that I love and I still play on. But I understand this is going to do tremendous damage. Tremendous. Yeah. This is a big one. 40 to 50% price increase.
Yeah.
Wow.
Quite a jump.
I didn't think. If I'm honest with you guys, I actually didn't think the reaction would be as strong as it has been. You know what I mean?
Did you think you would be the outlier to, like, you know, certain things?
Like when I put out my tweet, right? I said, I'm basically out of words for Xbox at this point, with 2 hardware price hikes in a single year, a failed attempt at $80 games going multi-plat, and now a major Game Pass price bump. They've eliminated quite literally every competitive advantage or bit of appeal they had. That was just my 2 cents. I thought about hitting send tweet on that because normally when I do that, here comes the Xbox fan base and I get fucking harassed for weeks. And I'm just like, oh. But I was like, you know what? I feel this is another important moment to draw that line in the sand, keep my opinion very clear and concise, right under the Twitter character limit, nice and easy to read. Let's go for it. It's at 24K likes. 527K views. Like, a lot of people are like, yeah, fuck this, bro. And
yeah, this is a big turning point. This is like the biggest.
I did not expect people to be with me, is what I'm saying. Like, Game Pass, because here's the thing. It's funny because as a game reviewer, like all of us, like, there's that level of telling people if something's worth their dollar or not. But there's two places I get a little about. recurrent spending because that adds up and you forget about those fees. And then obviously like big, like $1,000+ like hardware, that sort of stuff. I never feel fully comfortable being like, go buy this. It's more like, here's my experience with it. Take this as you will and interpret it with your own values and see if it's worth it. So with Game Pass, I understand that I unsubscribed in July because I was done with giving Xbox money every month in the terms of a subscription service. I didn't really need to do that for what they offered me, and I would just buy their games whenever I was interested. That's what I decided to do. But at that time, as I talked about it, I said, I understand that that's not everybody, that everyone's economic situation is different. What I didn't know with everyone's situation, if this would be a backbreaker, because games are still $70. This is still below half of that. If you're a hardcore gamer and you play a lot, maybe there is something still there for you. And so I have to say, not like stunned, but I was like, oh, wow, people agree with me, you know? And it's not just like a mob. It's just like disappointment, man. And again, that's the second worst you could have. The other is no reaction, right? No emotion. At least this got some emotion out of me. The last set of studio closures, I was like, really, man? Like, again? Like, this feels so familiar. So apathetic, as Cog put it. But I have to say, I was a little like, whoa, you know, even the diehards are out in the streets like, this fucking sucks, dude. And that's the only reason why I think they'll bend, because I'm like, your army has betrayed you. I'm thinking of Dragon Age Origins, where King Kalen just turns his back and leaves for the Darkspawn, you know? Yeah. I think I'm getting my characters mixed up, but shout out to Dragon Age Origins. Great plot twist. Nonetheless, gentlemen,
time
to wrap it up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's like an angry funeral.
Yeah, angry. I like that.
I like that too.
Like spitting on the coffin. That's what it feels like.
I give it a kiss. You know, can't spit on it. Xbox has been great. It's been a lot of fun, man. Been a lot of fun. But at this point, man, I hate that we're getting right into, you guys gonna like shift to a general gaming show? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know, bro. I was like, I really don't know. Like, I think about it all the time. I'm like, what are we gonna do?
You can get on Punch It Up, I guess. You guys can hop on. Or, maybe we'll make you guys permanent hosts on Summit Sign.
Yeah. Like at this fucking point, bro.
You got any openings?
Yeah. Got some slots for us, Brad?
You got a spot for the Dukes, bro?
Yeah.
You know? We got to put the resumes out there soon.
Yeah, Colin's going to be like, unfortunately, due to changing market conditions, we no longer have room for an Xbox podcast.
Yeah, we'll call it a LSM business update or something.
You're all going to be sitting on stools. Yeah.
We're going to be in the chair. That'll be
lit. And Colin's going to be asked, like, what about your other podcasts? Are they going? He's like, just this one. Just this one's going. Yeah. Just these four. Just these four. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got this deep. Thanks for being here. We know it was a bit of a tough listen in terms of uplifting energy, but we appreciate you being here for the conversation. Nonetheless, Brad, I know we ribbed you for your curse, but seriously, love having you here, man. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, my pleasure, dude.
Oh,
I'm happy to fill in when Cog's gone, but it was good to get on with Cog too.
Yeah, that's what besides the filling out, like truly, brother, you are the Swiss Army knife of LSM. There's no conversation that you can't be a part of. You're always informative. You bring the energy. I love when I'm on Summit Sign also, you know what I'm saying? But look, if you got any free spots, check out for the Dukes. You know? I'm just putting it out there early just in case. You know what I'm saying? But now, real talk.
I think we're actually going to have to talk to Colin at this point. I really do think I'm going to have to ask him to be like, hey, dude, what are you feeling? I have to see what he's feeling. I'm going to shoot him a text tonight and just be like, hey, dude, how are you feeling about like everything right now?
Gaming podcast, baby.
Yeah,
let's do it,
man. No, but all jokes aside, like it was dope to pod with you on Duke. You know what I'm saying? That's also cool. I'm glad I was able to make it. This was worth the suffering of the no sleep, as you can see now.
Yeah, the sun has risen.
The sun has risen. It's 8:41 a.m. now.
You got a full day ahead of yourself. Are you taking a nap after this?
Oh, I'm going straight to bed.
Yeah.
I'm going straight to bed. Yeah. Nice little nap, little food, and then a nap. But this is dope, bro.
I love that.
A lot of fun.
I love that. Well, we don't want to take you away from Tokyo any longer. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. Hashtag DD cancel at G27 status at Lord Cognito at Bradley Ellis 87. tag us on Twitter, or use the comment section down below. Whatever is good for you. Otherwise, we look forward to hearing from you. And we'll catch you next week. Hopefully this show's still alive and kicking. Episode 249, Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast. Until then, peace out.
Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast, is a product and trademark of Last Stand Media and Collins Last Stand LLC, and is recorded from the United States of America. The show is conceived by Matthew Mr. Matty Plays Schroeder and me, Colin Moriarty, and is written and produced by Matthew Schroeder. Matty's co-host is Barry Lord Cognito Eversley. Defining Duke's executive producer is Dustin Furman. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Narvaez. As you know, all of Last Stand Media's shows, including Defining Duke, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer support level on Patreon, and we're thankful for your kindness and generosity.